everybody. How's everybody doing today? Hey, covering the trial of Montgomery. DD, thank you so much for calling me and reminding me that the trial is actually starting today. As most of y'all know, we've got a lot of YouTubers that is doing this today, but you all know that I've been covering this case from the beginning. So come on in. We've been waiting for a long time to see justice for this little one. So y'all come on in. We got Sammy in the house. We got Zigzag, Misty, Dee Dee, Angel Loader. Let's see what else we got here. Coupon Mama, Mindy McGee, Crystal Bambridge, Innocent Till Proven Guilty, Sleuth Fairy, Robin B. Let's see what else we got in here. Mindy McGee, Crystal, Zigzag, Innocence, Misty Ray, Mama 4. Come on in, everybody. Oh, thank you, Michelle Tucker. Thank you for being a member. I hope you're feeling better, baby. Thank you so much for that membership. God bless you. Hello, Walk the Line. Hello, Sleuth Fairy. Welcome. Come on in, everybody. We're getting ready to, I think the first half may have already started. So we're going to see about that to see if it had actually started. Is it the opening statements yet? Let me see what started on this yet. Let's watch this. Credit to Court TV. I know a lot of people are grabbing this, but Harmony's our baby over here, y'all.
And it's important that when it comes time to deliberate, you are using your individual.
Hang on, listen.
In that Adam Montgomery.
Opening statements. We're going to go right to that. Okay. We don't want to waste any time. Welcome, everybody. Come on, get you something to eat, get you some coffee, get you something. Hey, Sweet D. And they're on break. The jury has been instructed. Okay. So y'all get ready because we're going to be covering this case. I got flagged yesterday on my wonderful presentation that I put out yesterday. I felt like it was really good on that one. So I don't know if I'll get flagged on this one. So any contributing to the forum is much obliged. Any donations would help because they are flagging these. So I don't know why they are doing it, but oh, I'm sorry, Michelle. I'm praying for you, baby. I am praying for you. Hold on to God and rebuke that devil every day. Every day, speak those words, a life over you, and rebuke the devil. So, I don't know why YouTube is flagging my channel, my YouTube videos, but oh, thank you, Innocence. Thank you. Innocent gifted 5 memberships. Woo, thank you. God bless you, Innocent. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much. God bless you for that. Let's see who got the memberships. I got to check on my phone because I have a hard time checking and seeing on here. We're getting ready to start the trial. So let's see who got the memberships. Oh, it looks like Mama 4, Sweet D, Lady 7 Up, and Millie RN, and Miss Veronica Childers. Woohoo! Thank you. Thank you. God bless you, Innocents, for that. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you so much. Let's see what they're doing here. It's awful quiet, so they must be getting ready to do something. Let's see here what they're doing. We went over Harmony yesterday, guys, so everybody should be familiar. Thank you so much. You got Innocence for that. Let me rewind this because we are getting ready to start. We're going to hurry and go through this right quick, the important parts of everything.
by striking her in the face. Said acts being
Opening statements. So let's go ahead and get this started. Here we go.
I'm going to now read the charges to you in this matter. There's 5 charges. The first is charge ID 1937947C. This states that Adam Montgomery of Manchester, New Hampshire, of Manchester in the state of New Hampshire, between approximately July 1st and July 22nd, 2019, at Manchester in the county of Hillsborough aforesaid, did commit the crime of second-degree assault, in that Adam Montgomery did knowingly cause bodily injury to HM, date of birth 6/7/2014, a child under the age of 13 by striking her in the face. Said acts being contrary to the form of the statute in such case made and provided and against the peace and dignity of the state. The next charge in this matter is charge ID 2027112C, and this states that Adam Montgomery of Manchester in the state of New Hampshire on or about December 7th, 2019, at Manchester in the county of Hillsborough aforesaid, did commit the crime of second-degree murder, in that Adam Montgomery did recklessly cause the death of Harmony Montgomery, date of birth 6/7/2014, a person under 13 years of age, under circumstances manifesting an extreme indifference to the value of human life, by repeatedly striking Harmony Montgomery on the head with a closed fist. Said acts being contrary to the form of the statute in such case made and provided and against the peace and dignity of the state. The next charge is charge ID 2027113C, and this states that Adam Montgomery of Manchester in the state of New Hampshire between approximately December 7th, 2019 and March 4th, 2020, at Manchester in the county of Hillsborough aforesaid, did commit the crime of falsifying physical evidence, in that Adam Montgomery, believing that an official proceeding, as defined in RSA 641:1, Roman numeral 2, or an investigation was pending or about to be instituted, did purposely alter, destroy, conceal, or remove the body of Harmony Montgomery with a purpose to impair its verity or availability in such proceeding or investigation. Said acts being contrary to the form of the statute, in such case made and provided and against the peace and dignity of the state. The next charge in this matter is charge ID 2027114C, and this states that Adam Montgomery of Manchester, New Hampshire, at Manchester, between December 7th, 2019 and March 4th, 2020, did commit the offense of abuse of a corpse, in that the defendant did purposely and unlawfully removed, concealed, or destroyed the corpse of Harmony Montgomery or any part thereof. And this is against the peace and dignity of the state. And then the last charge is charge ID 2027115C, and this states that Adam Montgomery of Manchester in the state of New Hampshire between approximately December 7th, 2019 and January 4th, 2022, at Manchester in the county of Hillsborough aforesaid, did commit the crime of tampering with witnesses and informants, in that Adam Montgomery, believing that an official proceeding as defined in RSA 641:1, Roman numeral 2, or investigation was pending or about to be instituted, did purposely attempt to induce or otherwise cause Kayla Montgomery to testify or inform falsely. Said acts being contrary to the form of the statute, in such case made and provided and against the peace and dignity of the state. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the defendant, Adam Montgomery, has been arraigned on these charges, and he has pleaded not guilty, and of this he puts himself upon his country for trial, which country you are. Assistant Attorneys General Benjamin Agati and Christopher Knowles for the state have joined the issue, and you are to say by your verdict if the defendant, Adam Montgomery, is guilty of the crimes whereof he stands indicted or not guilty. Hearken to the evidence. Thank you.
Members of the jury, shortly you will hear opening statements by counsel. For that, I'm going to give you some general instructions as to the law that applies to this case and some other matters which will give you some guidance as you consider the evidence in this case. After you have heard the evidence and you have heard closing arguments, you will hear further instructions from the court, and then you will retire to the jury deliberation room to decide your verdict. You should consider all of the instructions I give you, both now and at the end of the case as a whole, and not single out one particular instruction as stating the law. You will also have written copies of my instructions with you in the jury deliberation room. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a memory test. What I ask of you now is just listen carefully to the instructions that I give to you. You will have as many copies as you like in the deliberation room when it comes to decide your verdict. So you will have written copies of both the instructions that I give you now, as well as the ones that I give you at the end of the case as a whole. And every juror can have one available to them. So please just listen carefully now as I give you these instructions. The function of the court and the jury. In order to reach a fair and just verdict, you must understand and follow the law as I explain it to you. For example, you have to understand the definitions of the crimes with which the defendant is charged. You have to understand how convinced one way or the other you should be before deciding your verdict. You have to understand what to consider in deciding whether to believe a particular witness. These instructions will explain the law as to these and other matters so that you can reach a fair and just verdict. It is your duty as jurors to follow all of the instructions I'm about to give you. Regardless of any opinion you may have as to what the law ought to be, the law as I explain it to you is the law you must follow in reaching your verdict. It is up to you to decide the facts. You must decide the facts solely from the evidence in this trial. You must apply the law given to you in these instructions to the facts and in this way reach a fair and just verdict. You should decide the facts without prejudice, without fear, and without sympathy. You should decide this case based solely on the evidence presented and the law as I explain it to you. The evidence in the case. In deciding this case, you should consider only the evidence in the case. The evidence consists of testimony under oath of the witnesses, exhibits which have been admitted into evidence, facts of which I take judicial notice, and stipulations of certain facts. During the trial, the lawyers may make objections. The lawyers are supposed to object when they believe that certain evidence is not admissible. If I sustain an objection or exclude any evidence, you must not guess as to what the answer or evidence would have been. If I order that a question and answer be stricken from the record, you must not consider either the question or the answer as evidence.
They've not brought Adam in, have
A judge is required to be neutral, and I am, in fact, neutral. If during this trial or at any point during these proceedings you believe that I have expressed or suggested an opinion as to the facts in my rulings, you should ignore that belief. It is up to you alone to decide the facts. In short, you should consider only the legally admissible evidence in deciding this case, that is, the testimony of the witnesses, the exhibits, stipulations, and facts of which I took judicial notice. We talked earlier that there will be a view in this case, and I'll give you an instruction on the view later, but the view is also evidence in the case, but you'll hear an instruction on that in a little bit.
Is not playing.
The indictments are not evidence. The fact that the defendant has been arrested and indicted is not evidence of guilt. The indictments are simply a way of giving the defendant notice of the charges. The indictments are a formal way of accusing the defendant of a crime in order to bring the defendant to trial. You must not consider the indictments as evidence of guilt. Multiple indictments, one defendant. Each of the indictments against the defendant constitutes a separate offense. You must consider each indictment separately and determine whether the state has proven the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The fact that you may find the defendant guilty or not guilty on one of the indictments should not influence your verdict with respect to the other indictments. The possible punishment the defendant may receive if you return a guilty verdict should not influence your decision. The duty of imposing sentence is solely for the judge. You should base your verdict only on the evidence and the law without considering the possible punishment.
And been through the whole thing.
The presumption of innocence. As you were instructed during the general selection process, there is a presumption of innocence that applies and continues throughout this trial until the state convinces you beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty of each and every element of the offenses with which he has been charged. And the defendant has no obligation whatsoever to prove his innocence in this matter. And that includes the right not to testify if he so chooses. You are not allowed to draw any unfavorable, adverse, or negative inference if the defendant does not take a stand in this matter.
To see them bring him in and Kayla.
The jury's recollection controls. You will hear the lawyers discuss the facts and the law in their opening statements and closing arguments to you. These statements and arguments are not evidence. Their purpose is to help you understand the evidence and the law. If the lawyers have stated the law differently from the law as I explain it to you in these instructions, then you must follow these instructions and ignore the statements of the lawyers. If the lawyers state the evidence differently from how you recall it, then you should follow your own memory of what the evidence was. Direct and circumstantial evidence. There are two kinds of evidence, direct and circumstantial. Direct evidence is direct proof of a fact, such as the testimony or statement of a person about what the person saw, heard, or did. Circumstantial evidence is indirect evidence. That is proof of a chain of
all this stuff. This is a lot of talking.
In short,
she talks, and this is just going over the generalized stuff.
Be seated. Do you have anything preliminary or?
They're getting ready to go. I'm not seeing Adam in here. Oh, they got bags and everything. Y'all. So we're still waiting. So they're on a break right now. So what we're going to do is wait until they get back. The problem is that a lot of other YouTubers are grabbing onto this story, and I wish they would have put this story out. Hey, Mrs. Upper Thigh. More people would have known about Little Harmony. and what was going on with her. And now they're trying to cover this case, and a lot of people hasn't been brought attention has not been brought to this case because it was not a popular case to cover. So therefore, a lot of the true crime community hasn't covered it. Now they want to try to cover it once it's going to trial, and there's not a lot of attention onto this, even though she had a bigger reward fund. Daisy, Adam will not be in the courtroom today. How come? Are they saying why he's not being in the courtroom? Does anybody know why? Probably because they're doing opening statements and everything, which I thought he'd have to be there, but maybe not. I just wished other people would have covered this trial or this case before, before this trial, so everybody would have had a better idea of what really happened with this baby. We've been here all along, and he himself moved his appearance. Hey, walk the line. But we've been here since day one, pretty much, when she went missing. They couldn't find her and everything. We were boots on the ground. One of my mods, Bashley, was there the day that they were taking the refrigerators out of the apartment. I haven't heard why, but I'm guessing because he's a coward. Oh yeah, he's a coward. He don't want to face the fact that he hurt this innocent, beautiful little baby girl. That's one big thing. He's a freaking coward. He don't want to face the fact what he's done to her. Yeah, they hide their faces. They don't want to look. They don't want to acknowledge the horrible things that they've done. So of course he's not going to be there. He'd rather be there playing around in the prisons. He needs to go to a prison where in another country somewhere where they don't get three hots and a cot, TV, and all that. You hurt a child, you don't deserve all that stuff. I'm sorry, you don't. They're giving him too many options. Shackles, no shackles, now no show. He has never showed up for Harmony. He is a coward. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. He's a freaking coward. Why give him any opportunity? He should lose all of his rights. Little Harmony lost her right to live because of him. She didn't even have for almost a whole year of her whole life. She was beat up and treated like she was no more than trash on the street. You know? If it is true that she was having an accident, it was probably because of a UTI from him having to live in a damn car. Well, she was having accidents because he was probably, like her mom said, he was probably beating her up every time she'd have an accident on herself. So either way, she's going to get beat up. How can Adam choose to not be there? Exactly. They should make his ass be there. He shouldn't have a choice. I don't understand cruelty aimed in the fameless. How can one hurt a little child? I don't know. Y'all, I'm sorry about last night's live. I was so tired. I thought I couldn't sleep, and I took my medicine and it about knocked me out. I about fell asleep on there with y'all. So Adam shouldn't be able to make any decisions. Nope. I agree. Adam shouldn't be able to make any decisions. Why are they get See, that's what's wrong. You take these pedophiles, these child hurters, you put them in a prison like over in one of these poor countries. Let them live like that. They don't deserve to get three hots in a cot. I'm sorry, they don't. They don't deserve it. Oh, it's okay. So come on in, everybody. We're waiting on them to restart the trial today. We went over all this yesterday. Even though they flagged my video, I don't understand why, but most 5-year-olds can tell you when they have to pee. His defense with that, she was having accidents. Well, if he had provided her a proper place to live, she wouldn't have been peeing on her, peeing in the car. Well, that too, but he would make her stand in corners until she used the bathroom on herself. You'll hear this in the trial. He would make her stand in a corner until she would have to pee and poop on herself. Her uncle told that. He bragged about it. That's okay, Miss Daisy. I fell asleep sitting up right after I ate. I know that happens, don't it? Hey, Jill, how are you? A lot of children have accidents on themselves because they are being SM'd. Well, I have idea that maybe she might have been he might have been trafficking her too. These people didn't care about this baby. That's why I think that they're never going to find her body because they wanted to hide it. That's why he wouldn't bury her. I mean, because, well, somebody would have found out she was being probably SA'd. And so he's a monster and a devil. Yes, he is. He's a damn monster and a devil, and he deserves the worst punishment there is out there, in my opinion. You know, who hurts a little baby? They will love him in prison. They will get him, I pray. Well, they'll probably put his ASS in solitary confinement. So he probably be living a cushy life, watching TV. You know, look at them. They run the show there in prisons. They make hooch. They have all kinds of stuff. They have commissary. You know what he should get? He should get freaking solitary confinement for the rest of his freaking life for what he did to this baby girl. It's disgusting and vile. Look how precious she is. She had nobody there to save her. The CPS worker even failed her after he unalived her. Stupid ace CPS worker checked on her a month after he unalived her, and he told her, "Oh, she's with her mother." Instead of the CPS worker going and checking and making sure that she's with her mother, she called and left a message. She called and left a message with the mother, not even verifying from what he said was true. Boy, I hope she gets in trouble. I'm sorry, but that's a laziness. That's lazy. Could you imagine that? I'm sorry, there's no excuse. He'll be in protective custody with the other sick MFers like himself. Exactly. That's right, honey. Y'all, I'm sorry, but I don't have no mercy for him. Look at what her shirt says. She is with the Lord now. She finally knows the true love. You're right, Carice. You're right. But I wish I pray those jurors get a visual of what he did to her. And I'm sure they will because we all have. You know, making her scrub the toilet with a toothbrush, making her stand in a corner for hours, beating her around, but giving her black eyes to where she was completely and thoroughly terrified of this man, that she would use the bathroom on herself. Hey, Penny, how are you? There is such a sad case. Thank you for covering it. Penny, I've been covering this case from the beginning. She is a little cutie pie, you guys. And I feel like her mother failed her, CPS failed her, law enforcement failed her. She was failed on so many levels. Her stepmom needs to go to jail, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I think stepmom used to should be held responsible just as anybody else. That's what I think. So, hmm. We're still waiting for Court TV to come back on. They're on a break right now, so we're just gonna talk. And yeah, she's with Jesus. Yeah, yeah, they came back, and the first time they didn't find evidence of the black eye, probably because it healed up. And then the second time, which was 1 month later, they came back and they found evidence of a possible black eye, but he gave them some mojo that her brother hit her in the face with a toy. And so instead of taking this little baby out of the area of that household, and I think that's what they should do, away from the presence of her father and stepmother and talking to her by themselves, they would have found out that she was being severely abused. Sad little baby. Daisy, I sent you a pic last night when Adam came in yesterday. He was smiling and sticking his tongue out. It's disgusting. That behavior shouldn't be allowed in the courtroom. Yeah, that's my thumbnail. I made that my thumbnail on this today. If you check the thumbnail out. Thank you for that, Carly. I appreciate it. Did they do an opening statement? They did one. Yes, they did one. I can't find Kayla's interrogation anywhere where she tells all. I believe it was removed because she got a deal. Can only find the paper transcripts. Yeah, I looked too and I couldn't find it either, but she's going to have to talk today. Most definitely. Or this coming up. What do Uncle do about it? The one he told about the black eye. The uncle called the police and the CPS, and they pretty much blowed him off. He said Harmony was very, very, very sad. That she was a very sad child. Um, so let's see what's going on here. Hang on, let me take this down and hang on just a second, y'all. Okay, guys, so I'm going to take this picture down and I'm going to try to switch this over to another channel. It's getting ready. It's actually showing the courtroom in this channel. So hang on just a second. Which I'd rather show Court TV because Court TV actually doesn't give you a copyright, but hey, this is actually showing this right here. Well, I guess we can wait. We can actually wait for it as well. Because really the only thing their other channel is showing is the inside the courtroom. So let's switch it over just for a second. See. Because it's actually showing inside the courtroom. So there we go. There's nothing really happening right now though. But yeah. Daisy, I sent a couple things to your messenger. Did you know Adam has actually shot someone in the face? Yes. Yes, he was. He was indicated in that. Hey, D boss, in the attempted murder. Yeah, he had a huge. Adam had a huge criminal background, and yet they proceeded in giving this precious little baby to this monster. They failed this baby in so many ways. It's unreal. I mean, lazy. They didn't want to do the paperwork, probably. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I have literally, when I was taking care of my grandson, his mom was drawing benefits off of him while me and my husband were working and paying for everything. He was under my husband's insurance and everything, and she was drawing food stamps and I don't know what else she was drawing. But I literally called up there and told them that she was drawing benefits off of him. And they wanted me to come up there and sit for hours and bring them this, that, and other. And I said, just call the courthouse and get the damn things. And they would not do it. So they let her draw benefits off of them because they didn't want to do the paperwork. They didn't want to do the paper. I called them several times. They was too lazy to do the damn paperwork. So they let her draw off the draw benefits off my grandson, even though me and my husband was taking full care of him. Full care of him. And I mean, we were paying for everything. So, yeah. They sure did, Miss Daisy. It's disgusting. Yeah, it is. While we're waiting, I'm going to eat something. So I'm going to pull up my live from yesterday and let y'all kind of go over it a little bit until the court actually returns back. Since they flagged it, but we're going to kind of go while we wait on this, we'll go over that. And it just kind of gives you a little bit of what, and we'll return once this returns. All right, hang on. All right, this is where I start. She's born, her mother has sole custody of her, and her father, Adam, is in prison at this time in 2014. We did hear Crystal say that Adam actually named her Harmony. So he must have got arrested while she was in jail, which Crystal admitted yesterday that they both were on drugs. You watched the trial for the gun charges? I'm curious to see what all is going to come out in this trial. So in August of 2014 to January 18, Harmony is removed from Sori's care 3 times because of neglect related to drug use. According to Manchester Report, Harmony visits her father in prison twice, in January and in July of 2015. So she was taken out of the care of Crystal Sori because Crystal was not taking care of her. Just like I said, I got some nasty comments yesterday. You're so judgmental, da 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 da. No, I'm not. I've just known this case. And we had boots on the ground. Bashley that lives in that area where Harmony lived, and she was very much invested into this case. So yes, we have been invested in this case for a long time. And yes, I feel like the mother did fail her. I do. But everybody makes mistakes. So in September of 2015, Adam Montgomery released from prison and moves to New Hampshire. That is where he takes Harmony. In September of 2016, 1 year after his release, Adam Montgomery contacts the Manchester Department of Children and Family for the first time to resume visits with Harmony. So he wants to see Harmony. See, I don't get that. I mean, I don't get it. Maybe somewhere deep down he loved this baby. I don't know. Maybe he did. I I really don't know, and I really don't understand it myself. I mean, unless he was seeking after a check that he knew he could possibly get. Okay, so he seeks visitation. In February of 2017, after visiting with Harmony once per month for 5 months, Adam Montgomery stops responding to DCF requests for future meetings. So he started seeing Harmony for 5 months in 2017 and then just stopped. So he's probably back on the substance again, um, you know, and don't want to be bothered with his daughter. Thank you, Sunshine, for that. Thank you. Okay, if you've not hit this like and subscribe. Okay, guys, we are back in court. Court's back in section. So I'm pulling that back up, okay? Court TV is not doing nothing right now. So looks like the judge is getting ready to come in. So looks like they're getting ready to start again. No, she didn't have a chance, you guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you. This one is Law and Crime. Court TV hasn't started back up again, but it looks like they're getting ready to start back up. I can't believe they're not making him come in there to court today. He should have to be there and sit through that whole trial, through all of it. Well, it just looks like everybody's getting ready to start up, but it's not started yet. I bet it starts at 1 o'clock. How much you want to bet? I bet it'll start at 1. Because they usually give, what, an hour break for lunch and stuff. I wonder how long this will last today. So while we're waiting, I'll go back to what I was talking about. And I'll bring that back up whenever they start trial. All right, here we go, guys. Button, please hit the like and subscribe button. That'd be much obliged. And please consider becoming a member of Critters Crime Family. Okay, so in 2018, Adam Montgomery meets with Harmony for the first time in 11 months and the 9th time in her life. He had contact with DCF in September of 2017 after a 7-month period with no contact. That should have been a red flag right there. So in July of 2018, Crystal Sori, mother of Harmony Montgomery, loses custody of her daughter in Manchester. Sori later tells police she lost custody because of drug addiction issues, and Harmony was placed in a foster home in Haverhill. So this is where she loses Harmony in 2018. Hey, Misty. You're welcome, honey. You're welcome. So she loses custody because she's on the substance. Adam is probably still on the substance as well. And she's placed in a wonderful foster home. We were told that it was a wonderful foster home that baby Harmony was placed into. Okay. In 2019 or 2000, December 19th, 2018, 1 year before Harmony was unalived, the Manchester Department of Children's and Family requests a home study by the New Hampshire Division of Children, Youth and Family at the Montgomery's home in Manchester. The request did not include the necessary information to initiate a home study, New Hampshire officials say. So, where he is the biological father, they do have to look. They do have to look into the biological father, because when we took Bub, they told us that if the biological father of Bub come available, like if he walked up on us or the DCS and said, "Oh, I want my son," they would have to give it to him because he is the biological father. So the biological parents take priority over the foster. So they can't just place her into a foster home without giving the biological parents their rights first. So I can see why they did that, because that's a protocol. Because a lot of children that have fathers out here that love them will actually not know that their children is in foster care. Good afternoon. Hello, Connie, Miss Daisy, Mods, and everyone in chat. I hope everyone has a blessed morning and is having a wonderful day. Thank you, Connie. Hey, Mary. Blessed her beautiful heart. God's angel for sure. Yes, she was a little angel, y'all. Okay, so in February of 2019, Harmony's father, Adam Montgomery, is granted legal custody of the girl by a family court judge in Lawrence, Massachusetts. DCYF officials are notified of the custody decision before receives the additional information it's requested for the home study. So they even do a home study on him? In Easter 2019, Story says she spoke to her daughter on a FaceTime call at this time. She says this was the last time she saw Harmony. So we're going to play this right quick.
Well, Harmony's mother, along with her family, gathered here at this park in Manchester tonight, everyone coming together, vowing to bring Harmony home. Crystal Sorey holds hands with her family as they gather for a vigil and pray for the safe return of her daughter, Harmony Montgomery. The 7-year-old girl has not been seen since October of 2019. Crystal last saw Harmony in April of that year.
Last time I saw her was Easter. I had a FaceTime with her. I showed her basket. I said, next time we see you, you're going to have this basket I got you.
But Crystal says after that call, Harmony's father and legal custodian, Adam Montgomery, cut all ties with her and her family.
Everyone, family, me, like even my sister reached out, others. Nothing.
Worried about her daughter, Crystal says for months she called DCYF, law enforcement, anyone who could help her track down Harmony.
Anybody I could, I reached out to all my family, listen, we need to come forward, something's happening.
But it wasn't until 2 years later, New Year's Eve 2021, when Manchester police announced a missing persons investigation for Harmony after officials say they became aware of her disappearance just days earlier. Since then, police have set up a hotline, established a $94,000 reward for information, and conducted numerous searches for Harmony. On Saturday, investigators were at her last known address, a home on Guilford Street. And as they continue to follow leads, Crystal says she has made it her mission to bring Harmony home. Never giving up.
No, never. We're coming. We're going to bring her home. We're never going to stop.
And now if you have any information on the whereabouts of Harmony Montgomery, you can contact the Manchester Police Department at 603-203-6060. Reporting in Manchester, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
This game, you're not ready for it.
Okay, guys. So you heard it there. Crystal said that was the last time that she spoke with little Harmony. So she claims that she did
Feeling good
for her in those 2 years.
Thanks for asking.
I don't know. Maybe she did. To be honest. To be fair, maybe she did. In July of 2019, DCYF receives an anonymous call alleging abuse. The caller says Harmony had a black eye when the caller visited her Guilford Street home, which is the home we just seen in Manchester. The week before, a child protective service worker visits the home and emails Manchester police to say no eye injury was observed. So my question is, Did they take little Harmony aside and ask her if her daddy hurt her? And when I say when they need to take these babies aside, they need to take these babies completely away from any presence of parents. They need to take these babies in a room, make them feel comfortable, get them used to talking, get them knowing that they're safe, and then ask them the question, does your daddy hurt you? Does your daddy hit you? Instead of going in there and saying, oh, there's no black eye, there's no black eye. Because guess what? That black eye could have healed or anything else. So I believe, and I know that a lot of people, they do get a lot of calls that are not true, but either way, they need to take these little babies aside, make them feel safe, and ask them the questions that needs to be asked. Because just like Crystal said yesterday in an interview, that she believes that Harmony would have opened up and told them once they made her feel like she was away from her father and she was safe. But unfortunately, that did not happen for this baby. Okay, in August 7th of 2019, a child protective service, because see, they already came in July, right? They, oh my gosh, look how many times they've came. August 7th of that same year, a child protective service worker visits the home again and interviews Harmony and Adam and Kayla Montgomery. The worker notes a red mark in Harmony's eye and faded bruising under her eye. Oh, so they did see it. They did see it. Adam Montgomery says the mark was caused when she was struck by a toy while playing with a sibling. The caseworker also speaks to Sori, who tells the agency she lost custody of Harmony to Adam Montgomery. So they found a mark on this baby. They found a mark on her little eye. Hello, Mama Four. Hello, hello. And why did they not take this baby in? Why did they not? Well, I don't know whether they interviewed Harmony separately or not, but this time they actually find a mark. So this is the second time in 2 months since maybe Crystal did call. Maybe she did. Maybe she did. The second time in 2 months. The first time must have been the uncle. DCS, you're going to have to do better. So, October 1st, 2009, the final visit from a child protective service worker to the Griffith Street house. The worker reports the child appear happy and healthy. Wow. The assessment included that the report of abuse was unfounded, but the family was at high risk for future child welfare concerns. Wow. Third time in almost 4 months. Third time DCS went to that house that same year that this child dies. You got to do better, DCS. You got to do better. I'm sorry, you guys. In November or December of 2019, which we now know, December 7th of 2019, what happened to Harmony. According to Kayla Montgomery, Adam Montgomery told her around this time that he was taking Harmony to Low, Manchester, where her mother lives, which we all know that was a lie. Kayla Montgomery later tells police that this is the last time she saw Harmony,
uncle.
which we all know is a lie. They moved out of the house in November and began to become homeless in November before Thanksgiving. And we now know that December 7th, that Adam Montgomery flies mad at Harmony and unalives her with his fist, according to what Kayla says, and that she is thrown into a duffel bag into the trunk of the car. And we really don't know if baby Harmony was still alive at that point or not. Daisy, from July 29 to August 7
I think it was like
is a week.
4 or 5 times.
Wow, so that is a week, right, Frankie? Thank you for noticing that.
4 or 5 times.
Wow, 1 week. Dang. They really dropped the ball, didn't they, Frankie? They need a law stating kids must be interviewed separately from parents. I agree. I agree, because I do believe if they would have took this baby into a facility and separated her from Kayla and Adam, this baby would have broke down and told them exactly what this monster was doing to her. Poor, poor baby. So in January of 2020, a referral is received by DCYF about the Montgomery household. Adam Montgomery tells Child Protective Service workers that Harmony is living with her mother in Manchester and has been since Thanksgiving of 2019. Oh my God. Can you believe they didn't even check up on this, y'all? He tells the DCYF that Crystal has this baby. They check on this baby again. 1 month after he murders this child, they go to check up and he tells them that, and they don't check. They don't even check to make sure that he's telling the truth. Oh my goodness. So, January again of that same year, 2020, the Child Protective Service worker leaves a voicemail for Sorry to confirm Harmony's address. Officials say Sorry did not return the call. So they leave. Oh my God. Who is this caseworker? Who is this caseworker? She needs fired. She needs fired, y'all. The worker that went out in July should have been investigated. Well, the one here, because look, he's checking on Harmony, and she should be making sure that Crystal has Harmony. But what does she do? She leaves a voicemail. Lazy. Lazy. Let's switch over. The court hearing is getting ready to start. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to interrupt. I had to eat something I didn't want to eat in y'all's ear. Let's see if this is law and crime. So, hey Nora Woods, how are you? Hey Laura P, beautiful. Come on in, everybody. We're getting ready to start the trial of Harmony Montgomery. The judge has entered the room.
You may be seated.
They're waiting on the jurors, I guess.
All right. Sorry for the delay, ladies and gentlemen. One thing I think you will learn as you go through this process is sometimes things go exactly as we plan, and sometimes they do not. Right now, they are not going exactly as we had previously planned. So I apologize for the delay. And there are a lot of moving parts in a trial. So sometimes we need to switch things up. So originally I had said that we were going to come in and do opening statements. We're going to do something a little different than that. As I said, we're going to be going on a view today. So prior to a view, the lawyers will give you what's called a preview statement to give you some information about what they want you to look at and what they anticipate that you will see on the view. We're going to do that first. So I'm going to give you an instruction regarding the view. Then the state and the defense will give you their preview statements. Okay. And then we will wait for the bus to come. And when everybody's ready, we'll get on the bus and we'll go for the view. Then depending on what time it is after that and other circumstances, we'll determine whether opening statements will be this afternoon after the view or whether they'll be tomorrow. Okay. So listen carefully to this instruction. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to begin this case with a view. We will be traveling to several locations within the city of Manchester to observe certain areas you will be hearing testimony about. The purpose of the view is to make the testimony you will hear more understandable. If you have the opportunity to look at a scene, the testimony may make more sense to you. Your obligation on the view is to look as carefully as you can and to remember what you see as well as you can. You may not ask questions. You may not take any notes or measurements. You should look carefully at what the lawyers will be pointing out to you. What you see on the view is evidence in this case. Please stay as close together as possible so that you will all be viewing the scene from approximately the same perspective. If you cannot hear or see, please call that to my attention or to the attention of one of our court officers. After the view is completed, you may not revisit the scenes on your own during trial. Also, you may not engage in any discussion among yourselves or with anyone else concerning what you see at the view. As you know, you are not to talk with each other or with anyone else about the case until the end of the trial when you are conducting your deliberations. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, counsel will have the opportunity to make their preview statements to you concerning what they expect you will be seeing on The View. Yes, you may.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ben. I represent the state on this. What we're going to do, and first of all, since it's my first opportunity to talk to you as the jury, big J, as opposed to little j, let me thank you again for your time that you're going to be putting forward not only today but throughout the trial. It is very important, both to society, to the government, to the citizens, and it is very, very much appreciated. The first part of your job, for the most part, is going to be taking place in this room. The vast majority of it dealing with the witnesses and the exhibits that you see. But as you just heard from Judge Messer, another part is going to be the view. This is evidence, what you're going to see today. It is going to be work on the view. You're going to have to walk around in 2 different locations, and the rest of them will require you to look out the windows of the bus to be able to take into account the neighborhoods that you were in. I'm going to explain every place that we're going to go in just a moment, and the defense counsel will also have that same opportunity. Together, we are going to see where this happened. You're going to get to see the same places, the same locations in person that you are later on going to see and hear evidence at trial. And you've already heard, again, Judge Messer's instruction. You should consider today's view to be like evidence. In a few minutes, we are going to get on a bus, maybe not now, and we're going to see a couple different locations in Manchester. In some ways, it's going to be the beginning of a journey that you will likely never forget. This is also the last journey that Harmony Montgomery took while she was alive, and where her body went afterwards. It's a journey that's into the actions of the defendant on that day and the days forward. And we're going to drive by places where Harmony was first assaulted, where she was later killed, or she was later consolidated and crushed. And then finally, the different other locations of where the defendant had her in the city. What you are going to see today is part of the evidence. Some of the locations that we're going to drive by, we are just going to pass by in the bus for a minute, and the bus is going to pull over to the side of the road. So you have an opportunity to look at that location, take in the surroundings. And on 2 of the locations, we will physically get out. One will be a parking lot, and the other one will be an intersection. We will not be going into any residences. Later on, you're going to hear testimony about different homes. We may be driving by an apartment complex today, but we will not be going inside in the actual rooms where Harmony was, or where Harmony later was kept. So we will be outside for the 2 times that we get out of the bus. So before we do that, I want to kind of start at the beginning. The first place that we're going to go to, and this is Ms. Johnson, forget my art skills, high school. We're going to start at the courthouse. And the first place that we're going to go to is we're going to go down past Elm Street. Definitely not to scale. We're going to come across Merrimack, and we're going to go up here on Market Street. And at that point, we're going to pull the bus over to the side of the road, and you're going to be able to look out, and I would say look out the right-hand side of the bus to the area of 20 Market Street. That's the location of the methadone clinic where the defendant took Harmony that morning with the rest of the family inside a 2010 gray Chrysler Sebring. When you're there, I want you to be able to take into account just the outside of the building and also look at the neighborhood. I want you to see the number of other businesses that are nearby, the number of other cars that are nearby, the number of the amount of foot traffic that may be there while we're there. You're going to hear in opening arguments that it was at that first location outside the methadone clinic that the defendant came out from getting his medication, got into the car, and understood that Harmony had had an accident, saying words to the effect of, "Really, Harmony, again?" Objection.
Approach.
So he got his medicine from the methadone clinic and went outside and unalived her at the methadone clinic. Wow. Was Adam on something, McCone, or was he signing up for it? Was on what? I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. Methadone, yes. He actually had got his medicine, is what he said. Ooh, there's a bag. So he got his medicine, came out, and unalived that baby. I'm going to be uploading some pictures of the house and stuff as well to kind of give you all an idea in case they don't show it on here. Now, I don't know if they're going to be going with the jury and showing these places. I do hope that they do, just to kind of give us a more picture of what little baby girl was going through. So
Ladies and gentlemen, that objection is neither sustained or withheld. The state will clarify. Go ahead.
When we're at that location, later on, you're going to hear testimony at that location. When it came out from that location, you hear testimony that he sensed and smelled that happened in the bathroom. And that's where the assaults began of striking. That's why it's important for you to look around, to see what else and who else is there, and to know what that area looks like. From there, we're going to then come back onto Elm Street. Probably do a loop around. Go north on Elm. Then we're going to go up to Webster Street.
thank you, Diamond.
At the top of Elm. And that's right over where you get past where you go on the bridge, the big Brady Sullivan Tower there. We're going to take Webster Street out. And here, we're going to go out on Daniel Webster Highway. And there's the Burger King. When we get to the Burger King again, we won't be getting out of the bus. We'll be staying inside, and you'll have a chance to look at that parking lot. What the state is asking you to do is to pay close attention during that drive. How many stoplights roughly? Roughly. What are the road conditions like? How long does it take to get there? You're going to hear testimony later on about that same drive. You're going to hear testimony how during that drive, the defendant's assaults continued. He continued to hit Harmony as they stopped at red lights, as they stopped at stop signs. That's why you need to pay close attention during that drive. And we're going to go out to that location. After we've had a minute or two to sit in the bus there at Burger King, and you've had a chance to see the traffic flow, see what cars are like. At that time, we're then going to turn around. We're going to come back down Webster, continue north on Elm.
Again, thank you.
And then we're going to cut over to an area on West River Drive, approximately 59 West River Drive. And there, we're going to make our first stop where we get out of the buses. 59 West River Drive is one of the street locations for Colonial Village Apartments. It's right up on the DC poorly drawn river. It's right on the backside there. We're going to be pulling in between those buildings and going to a very large back parking lot that's behind there. This is where you get testimony that the defendant lived in his car after they had been evicted from the Guilford Street home, and where the defendant kept Harmony and the rest of his family after they left Burger King, after he continued to hit her, and drove back there to eat his food while Harmony was moaning. We're going to hear testimony that that's where he used his drugs while Harmony died. When you're there, I'm asking you to notice the number of apartment buildings that are nearby. Look at the number of cars that are in the parking lot, how big that parking lot is. I'm also going to ask you to take notice in that back parking lot area, look towards the tree line. Look at the very back row, closest to the river, where different cars can park. Notice all of that while you're there. It's going to be more than 1 or 2 minutes. So you can get out, you can certainly walk around, take your time to really look in that area and look at the different details that are there. Also look up at the side of the building. I'd like you to know whether or not you see lights on the side of the building that illuminate that parking lot. There are street lights that illuminate that parking lot. So do that while you're there. Once we're done, we'll get back on the bus and we're going to drive back towards the city, back on West River Road, back to Elm, and then south to the intersection with Webster. The buses are going to pull over on the side here, And we're going to get back out yet again. You'll hear testimony that it was here that the defendant's Gray Sebring died in the intersection. That it was here that where, with his family, the car stopped working. And then it was here, just before he needed to get a tow, you'll hear how he went to the back seat, found that Harmony was no longer alive. I want you to look very closely around that intersection. Look at the traffic going through that intersection. The number of people that were available at that intersection. We're also going to hear the testimony that at that time, when he realized that she was dead, that when you look at the different businesses around, I want you to remember that when later on you're hearing testimony, how his actions was to take Harmony and to stuff her in a duffel bag. You'll also hear later a trial from a tow truck driver, and you'll hear about a gas station on the corner. So while we're in the intersection, and we're not going to stand in the middle of the intersection, obviously we're going to stand on the sidewalk. But while you're there and you can move around, take note of how far away that gas station is and the short distance that the tow truck driver had to bring the car. And once we've spent enough time considering all of these, then we're going to be going to another address. You're going to hear testimony about a lot of different addresses where the defendant brought Harmony's body afterwards.
Pure protein. Protein that's pro-you.
That involves a red cooler. We're not going to be here. We're not going to be driving by one on Lake Avenue as well that you'll hear testimony later on about where he stored Harmony in the ceiling. Where we're going to go is 644 Union Street. So from this intersection, we'll come back onto the buses onto Webster, come over to Union Street, and head south. And the intersection of 644 Union Street is right at the intersection of Union and Orange. So Orange is the cross street. You're going to see two buildings. We're going to be stopping right outside here, 644 Union. Testimony that you will hear later on involves also a parking lot that's general in the back. But here we're not going to be getting off the buses. You're not going to have to go inside. We're going to ask you to again look out the right-hand side of the buses and the size of the building. While you're there, we're going to ask you to please take a look at the number of apartments that are there, the number of neighbors that the defendant would have had based upon looking at those apartments. Look at the traffic, look at the lighting, look at the neighborhood. Later on, you're going to hear more testimony about that apartment and what took place in that apartment. Again, we will not be getting out the buses. You do not have to go in that apartment. When we're done at Union Street, the buses will pull away. We'll come down to Bridge, back onto Elm, back south to Merrimack, and then back to the courthouse. I'm going to ask you to look at one last thing on this drive. As we come back to the intersection of Merrimack Street and Elm, roughly here compared to how I'm pointing right now, down at that intersection, right across the street from each other, there's the Thirsty Moose Tap House, which is right on Merrimack. Right across the street from that is a Chase Bank right now. When we drive back down Elm and then we take that left-hand turn to come up Merrimack Street to come back to the courthouse, I'm going to ask you to look out the right-hand bus of the window. We're not going to be slowing down there. It's Elm Street. We're too busy. But I do want you to look outside that Chase Bank. In the winter of 2020, you will hear testimony that that was not a bank, that that was the Portland Pie Company, pizza shop, that that was where the defendant worked. And you're going to also hear testimony that that was where, on one occasion, he ordered his wife to bring a CMC bag containing Harmony's body and stored it inside a freezer, seen by other witnesses. So when you hear those witnesses and they talk about Portland Pie Company, we're going to be driving by that location. Again, it's a bank now. It's not a pizza place anymore. But understand where that location is to be able to better understand the testimony that you're going to hear throughout the rest of this. And let me stress again what you see on this view is going to be evidence. The locations we're stopping at, the Habit Methadone Clinic, the Burger King up on Daniel Webster Highway, coming back to Colonial Village where we'll get out, to the intersection of Elm and Webster where we will also get out, the drive by 644 Union Street, then back to Elm and the drive by what was Portland Pie Company before we come back to the court. This will be your only opportunity, as you heard from the court, to look at these places in person until the end of this trial. So take your time. If you need more time, please let the court staff know. We will stay longer in the parking lot. We will stay longer at the intersection. We have great deputies and bailiffs who will allow you to be able to explore the space in a safe manner so that you're not going to feel like you've got traffic right on top of you or anything like that. So do please take your time. But when we listen to the testimony from the different witnesses, these are 5 of the key locations that you're going to hear. So it's important that you know what they look like in person before you hear that testimony. Based upon that, again, after you hear this and after you see all of the evidence of this case, we'll ask you to return a verdict that is just. But I would also ask you if you would please do also pay close attention to defense counsel's comments about the view, because again, the more observations that you can make on today's view, the better it will be for you to understand the testimony you see later on. And it's a one-only shot. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good afternoon. This is where the trial really begins for you, and you literally step into it. You step onto the bus, you go to places. These places are exhibits of your mind. These places in your mind, you apply to everything else that you hear, see, and consider in this case. The state said that this was the last journey that Harmony made. This is where the dispute starts. This is not the journey that Harmony made, but this will be the journey that we make today. And when we leave here and we go to Merrimack Street, that's a clinic. And it is a clinic that you'll hear testimony that Adam and Kayla frequented all the time, or quite a bit. And that when you're there, I want you to look. We can't recreate what was happening on particular days or particular weeks, who might have been coming and going at what time. So you actually can only look around and see the exposure. What is the parking there? What can you see? What is exposed? What is hidden? And then apply the evidence that you hear about events that may have occurred there, and consider, could this have happened? Put your mind to the testimony and apply it. This is what I saw. This is what I remember. This is what the witness is saying. It is your evidence, but it's evidence in the case. Then you'll go from the clinic to Burger King. And at Burger King, that's really very, very important to look at that entire layout. Again, we can't recreate the amount of traffic that was on a particular day or a week. We can't recreate any of that stuff. But you look at the parking. I want you specifically to look at how that drive-through works out when you make the order and then you pay the cashier and then you get your food. Take that into consideration. Take the time to think about a route through the drive-through. What is exposed? What is hidden? Who can see what from what angle? Think about the cashier. Think about all of the stuff around the drive-through. And actually, when you're there and stop, think about that from the time somebody pulls into the parking area. And again, You will be applying that to somebody else's testimony, and then you'll be thinking and applying that. Does this work? Does this not work? What's going on here? It is your evidence. From there, you heard that we're going to Colonial Village, and that is a place that you're getting out. So you will take the time. Traffic's going to be different from testimony that you hear about, but you want to look what is exposed, what is hidden from particular places, looking at the building. What can you see? What can't you see? We're going to direct you to particular places and areas and say, take a look and consider from this perspective something that pictures can never quite do. And you got to hold it in your mind and again, apply it to testimony as it comes in. This is an exhibit throughout the trial, not just for this afternoon. From the Colonial, you will go to Elm and Webster, which is a place that you're going to get out. And that is really critical on traffic because, again, it can't be recreated. But there is going to be testimony about traffic, about reaction to traffic. There's a car that's broken down there, and about what people did about the car, about what traffic was like because the car was broken down. And you want to, again, look, what's exposed, what is hidden, and apply your exhibit in your head to the testimony that comes here at trial. Then Fit Shelter is the next place, and you're going to hear about information that happened inside Fit Shelter. So you won't have that sort of same perspective of what's exposed and what's not exposed because you won't actually see that part. And there's testimony about Fit Shelter that is very disturbing, but you still need to go there so that you put it in place about the type of place that it is. And
Objection? I'm sorry, I think there's an objection.
Okay, guys. So that's the defense on his part. His ass should be there, but unfortunately, they're not going to make him be there today. If these jurors have to sit through and people have to sit through this trial, yet they're not making the monster who actually did this crime sit through the trial, it does not make no sense to me at all. Another thing is, you know, it's just sad, you guys.
Essentially withdraw.
messing up my words.
There we go.
Union Avenue. Sorry. You will not be going into Union Avenue, but some very disturbing things occurred at Union Avenue. So you want to hold this into your head. Think about the building. Think about the location. Remember Union Avenue, even though you can't go into it, and I think you'll be very happy that you don't go into it. All of this is an exhibit inside of your head, and keep the names a little bit better than I did. I'm so sorry about that. But the location is the same, and this is the journey that we are taking. And at the end from Union Avenue, you're going to come back here, and as they say, pass by the corner at Merrimack and Elm. Keep that in mind. I also want you to keep in mind the distance from the two. Distance in this case is a little bit less important, but still something to keep in mind as a person testifies about traveling from place to place, about how long does it take, the traffic lights, what is a delay. And I did forget, at each of those traffic lights, I want you to look around again, just as you're going through the traffic lights, what's exposed, what is hidden. You're going to be on streets. Assume that everything on the street is exposed. Look around on the sidewalks and the areas around it as well. It's a difficult thing. Again, you're not taking notes, and you're going to have to remember this as you apply it to all of the testimony in this case. All of these locations are important, not necessarily for the reasons that the state said. There is a dispute going on here, but there is no dispute that all these locations are very, very important. And we can only ask you to pay attention as best you can. When we get there, we'll just remind you of perspective and specific areas to look at. I believe that we'll be going behind you to make sure that the bus stops long enough for you to absorb all of the areas before you go to the next one, until you step out and actually walk around, starting at Colonial Village.
I don't get it either, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the preview statements. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send you back into the jury deliberation room. This is a good time to use the restroom, have a drink of water. I think we've got a little bit of time before the bus arrives. We will let you know when the bus arrives, and you'll be escorted by the court officers. I will be on the bus with you, as well as some of the court staff. The lawyers will be going separately. So just be patient. As soon as the bus is ready for us and all of our business here is concluded, we will go ahead and get on the bus and begin the view. All right. The reminder about not talking about the case with each other or with anyone else, or doing any independent research, make sure you don't do that. Okay. All rise for the jurors, please.
I wonder, thank you, Sleuth Fairy, thank you. I wonder if they're going to be taking us with them to these places, or I don't know if camera crews are actually going to go or not to these places, but I wonder. I do have some pictures of the house that they lived in while they were no electricity and all that. I guess the house that they were in. I have pictures of that, and then the last house that Harmony lived in, where they looked in the backyard. This is the last house that Harmony lived in. This is the apartment with the refrigerator that Harmony was found in. This is the apartment that had no electricity, where they come in and investigated. And this is them in the backyard of that house. They excavated the backyard and didn't find Harmony back there. And this is also part of that house as well, the inside of that house. Now, I will continue to try to find pictures of actually where they were living. It sounded like they were living in the back of a apartment complex. But he continued to hit her after Burger King. Hey, Mandy. Cameras won't be allowed. I bet Court TV has a reporter at each place. I don't know for sure. I will keep checking with Court TV to see if they do. It's just sad, you guys. That's Law and Order. Let me see if Court TV is still going at it. Court TV. They're pretty much looking at the same thing we're looking at on Court TV. So I don't know. Oh, happy birthday, Innocent. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Innocent. Hey, Frankie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to my Innocent. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Happy birthday, Innocent. Have a beautiful day. I bet it's in the duffel bag. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you. 7:40 a.m. Thursday the 8th, February the 8th. Is that your birthday or today ain't the 8th, is it? It's the 7th. What's 7:40? So, will they be back in court today? I found the cowbell. Yes, ma'am. So, I wonder if they'll be back in court today or there's nothing going on right now as far as court TV. But, oh, it's the 8th. Okay, so it's your birthday in New Zealand. Woohoo, woohoo. Because I was wondering why some people had the 8th for today. So it is the 8th. Hang on just a second, y'all. Oh, Innocent is ahead of us, I know. Hey, Shauna. Hello, hello. Hang on just a second, y'all. We will be covering every single day of this trial. And as you know, a lot of people that's not ever covered this case is actually covering this trial. We have been here from the beginning on this. I've covered this case from the beginning and everything. So I would appreciate people hanging with me on this trial if you want to, because like I said, there's not much about this case.
Admit to each and every element of the offense of falsifying physical evidence and abuse of corpse. Is that okay? And did you speak with your lawyers in detail about that?
What's this?
Yes, I did.
And have you reviewed the opening statement in which they will tell that to the jurors?
Yes, I did.
And do you wish for them to acknowledge your guilt on both of those charges, falsifying physical evidence and abuse of corpse?
Yes.
And do you understand that it would be the state's obligation to prove each and every element of those offenses beyond a reasonable doubt before the jury could find you guilty? Do you understand that?
What's going on?
Yes.
And that by agreeing to allow them to acknowledge this in opening statements, the jurors can find you guilty of those two offenses, relying on that information. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, and that is what you wish to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have any further question about that?
No, I do not.
All right. Anything further that the state requests?
That's exactly what I think it is. He is pleading guilty.
Whether or not he's making a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary waiver of essentially proving his facts.
Is he going to try to cut a deal?
Okay. So anything you want to add, Attorney Smith?
Not on that issue.
Okay. So, Mr. Montgomery, having heard from you that you've discussed this with your lawyers, that you've reviewed the opening statements, the draft of the opening statement, that you acknowledge that you understand that the burden of proof is on the state to prove each of those offenses beyond a reasonable doubt, and that understanding that it is your desire for them to proceed with that strategy, the court does find that this is a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary waiver of your rights and will allow them to proceed on that basis. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. So while I have you, today you did refuse transport, so I want to talk to you about tomorrow. As we discussed with you this morning, you can't change your mind midway through the day, but you can inform the court if you wish to come tomorrow. And what I would like to do, and each day thereafter. So you can come and we will send a transport for you. That is your absolute right. But as I explained to you this morning, it's also your right to waive your presence and for us to proceed in your absence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to instruct the sheriff's office and the Department of Corrections that someone will ask you tomorrow morning, do you wish to come to court today? We will have transport available to you if you want to come, but I am not inclined to send a car up there to pick you up only to have you refuse. So do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have
What
any concern
hours?
about that procedure?
No, I do not.
Okay. So it is our intention to have someone ask you tomorrow morning whether or not you wish to come. And whenever they come to ask you that question, they're going to need an answer from you so that we have
Angel Soft toilet paper is strong,
sufficient time to make sure that we get you down here in order for us to start the trial in a timely manner. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That
And
shit
I
bag.
believe your counsel will be speaking to you later at some point later today.
Not today.
Oh, not
We
today.
can't.
Okay.
24-hour notice.
Okay. So that's going to be the procedure for tomorrow morning and each day thereafter of this trial, unless and until the court makes a different order on that. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there anything further from the state while Mr. Montgomery is present?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Montgomery, you're free to go now. I appreciate that that you are speaking with us when we need to speak with you, because we are keeping the jurors waiting when we do this.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. You're all set.
Wow. So he pleaded guilty
All
to.
right. Counsel, we will wait to hear when the bus is here. As soon as the bus is here, I guess I'll just have you all notified. Yes. Yes, I know. Oh, the bus is not here, right? When we thank you, Peter. When the bus is here, let us know so that we can gather everybody up and make sure everybody's in their respective vehicles at the right time. So we'll have somebody, probably the court officer will check in with you. I'll get on the bus with the court staff.
Hey, Candy Kisser, welcome.
You know, when we get the go ahead from everybody.
You too.
Okay. All right. Very good. Let me know if you need me before then.
So he refused to show his face this morning. Of course.
Trevor Guy, counsel.
Of course he's going to do that. So it sounds like to me that he pleaded guilty to a couple things already, but he's refusing to come into court and come into trial. So this man don't give two shits. He don't give two shits. He don't want to face the fact that people's going to be looking at him again for what he did to his daughter. Let's go back on that just to make sure. I'm trying to see if I didn't miss anything, but I want to go back and make sure, see what it was that he admitted. Let's go back. Hang on. There.
Evidence and abuse of corpse. Is that okay?
Abuse of corpse is what I got there. Okay, hang on. Let's see. They cut in at the wrong time. Hang on just a second. We're going to see what. He's the devil, as Miss Daisy says. He is. So she's talking, but why isn't it showing it? Oh, it didn't pick it up.
Admit to each and every element of the offense of falsifying physical evidence and abuse of corpse. Is that okay? And did you speak with your lawyers in detail about that?
Yes, I did.
And have you reviewed the opening statement in which they will tell that to the jurors?
Yes, I did.
And do you wish for them to acknowledge your guilt on both of those charges, falsifying physical evidence and abuse of corpse?
Yes.
And do you understand that it would be the state's obligation to prove each and every element of those offenses beyond a reasonable doubt before the jury could find you guilty? Do you understand that?
Yes.
And that by agreeing to allow them to acknowledge this in opening statements, the jurors can find you guilty of those 2 offenses, relying
Yes.
on that information. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, and that is what you wish to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have any further question about that?
No, I do not.
All right. Anything further that the state requests?
As further the state request, we assume that the court would take
Tampering with physical evidence and abuse of a court.
Intelligent voluntary waiver, essentially proving these facts and proceeding this way, which
Evidence and abuse of the
Okay.
court.
So anything you want to add, Attorney Smith?
Not on that issue.
Okay, so Mr. Montgomery, having heard from you that you've discussed this with your lawyers, that you've reviewed the opening statements, the draft of the opening statement, that you acknowledge that you understand that the burden of proof is on the state to prove each of those offenses beyond a reasonable doubt, and that it understanding that it is your desire for them to proceed with that strategy, the court does find that this is a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary waiver of your rights, and will allow them to proceed on that basis. Okay?
Oh, yep.
Okay. So while I have you, today you did refuse transport, so I want to talk to you about tomorrow. As we discussed with you this morning, you can't change your mind midway through the day, but you can inform the court if you wish to come tomorrow. And what I would like to do, and each day thereafter. So you can come and we will send a transport for you. That is your absolute right. But as I explained to you this morning, it's also your right to waive your presence and for us to proceed in your absence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to instruct the sheriff's office and the Department of Corrections that someone will ask you tomorrow morning, do you wish to come to court today? We will have transport available to you if you want to come, but I am not inclined to send a car up there to pick you up only to have you refuse. So do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any concern about that procedure?
No, I do not.
Okay.
So
So it is our intention to have
we don't
someone
want to
ask
face
you
the
tomorrow morning whether or not you wish
we don't
to
want to have
come.
people
And
look at him in
whenever
court.
they come to ask you that question, they're going to need an answer from you
I hope they
so that
make
we
a
have
plea
sufficient
for-
time to make sure that we
tells
get you down
their
here in order for us
homelessness.
to start the trial in a timely manner.
He
Do you
knows where
understand
she's
that?
at.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I believe your counsel will be speaking to you later, at some point later today.
He is a
Not
slum
Not
dog.
today. Okay.
24-hour notice.
Okay. So that's going to be the procedure for tomorrow morning and each day thereafter of this trial, unless and until the court makes a different order on that. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there anything further from the state while Mr. Montgomery is present?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything further from the defense?
No, you're
Well,
not.
that
All right.
BAS
Mr. Montgomery, you're free to go now. I
Refused.
appreciate that that
Come to
you
court.
are speaking with us when we need to speak with you, because we are keeping the jurors waiting when we do this.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. You're all set.
Who makes the rules? Oh, Adam does. Seems like they're letting him make the rules.
All right. Council, we will wait to hear when the bus is here. As soon as the bus is.
He makes all the rules according to, well, it just seems like to me that that's what they're letting him do. They're letting him make the rules if he can show up, if he wants to show up. I'm a bit behind on this because I was driving, but happy birthday, innocent. But yeah, I like the judge so far. I like her too, but I think I'd be a little more tough on him. I'd make his ASS come and sit through that trial. They should make those SOBs sit through that trial. He needs to hear step by step and relive what he did to that innocent, beautiful baby girl. They should force him to come and put one of them things over his head. Y'all, I think he should be forced to come. Also, I just heard her birthday. It is the same as mine. I don't know why I felt so attached to her. Well, I do, the glasses and etc. I was made fun of and by family members. Am I step not biological? Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Let's see. if more comes out about Kayla, can they go back and charge her for murder? I don't think so if she's made a plea. I have a feeling Adam's going to try to make a plea, some kind of a plea, because he's already admitting to abuse of a corpse and um what's that other one again? Tampering with evidence. So he may make a deal with them um if he tells them where baby Harmony is, which I think that he actually probably most probably did definitely dismembered her and placed her in different places. I don't think they'll ever find all of her again, which is very sad, but what a monster. He don't want to face the consequences. Miss Daisy, he admitted to tampering with evidence and abuse of corpse, but he didn't admit to unaliving her. Yeah, he's probably going to say someone else unalived her or she died on her own. And tape his eyeballs open and show pictures. I know that's what they do. They act like they take themselves out of that situation so they don't face the facts that what they do. That's what Kayla told in that interview that is no longer available and she helped him. What did she tell Crystal? Y'all, I'm cold. I'm so over criminals making a mockery of these judicial systems and worse. The system is allowing it. Yeah, they're buttering his butt. They're putting powders and cream on his bottom. He brutally unalived his baby girl. Yet they're treating him like he's some kind of celebrity or something. She's being a little too nice for me. She's here to do a job, not give a million options, and jury has to come every day even though they have obligations with work and their own children. I'd make him go. Me too, Carly. Me too. There's no getting out of it. He needs to face the facts that he needs to be faced in front of a jury, in front of the world. He needs to be there and grumble in his own self-pity on what he did to that precious little baby girl. To me, this is a freaking cop out for him. Nothing but a cop out for what he did to that baby girl. This is the house that Harmony and them lived in when they were living without electricity and stuff. This is the inside of the house, y'all. There was the cord they were running from outside the generator into the house, but at least they did have a house at that time. This is the apartment. This is the refrigerator that he kept Harmony's little body in. And this is the backyard of that house where they dug the backyard up looking for little baby Harmony's body. And I'll be bringing more pictures um, as we continue on in this case. Harmony needs a new judge. I don't like this one. I know she's a little softy, ain't she? Our justice system is broke. Bring back waterboarding and no rights for criminals. Thank you, Polly. Thank you so much. So, are they going to come back this evening? What are they going to do? That cause was ridiculous. It was more like a skit for SNL. Disgusting. Yep. I understand what y'all are saying. I feel you. I feel the same way too, guys. I'm just appalled that this monster can get away with it. You know what I'm saying? That he can choose whether he wants to face the consequences in a courtroom or not. You know, that's what gets me. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting is what it is. Not only is it disgusting, but it's sad as well. So I don't know how long the jury will be. They'll probably be hours. They were about to load up and follow that map. Now I don't know exactly. Well, they're still going to get him for tampering with physical evidence. All the judge, I want to get y'all's opinions here. All the judge has to do is deem it mandatory, and he and the jail will have to make him go. Exactly. It was horrible. Let's see. At Daisy, I sent you a clip on Messenger of Adam's brother talking. Okay, let me see if I can bring that up. Hang on just a second. Let me take, I'm not sure which one. This is long crime, so we'll leave that one up. We'll take Court TV down, and I'll bring up Facebook. Let me see. It's not showing any. Hang on. Hang on, y'all. It's a damn shame, is what it is. Lori Daybell was ordered to stay in courtroom. Yeah, these some bitches want to cop out. They want to cop out's what they want to do. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Did you send it to me on Facebook, or did you send it to me on? Hang on. Let me see. I haven't got it. Can you send it to me again? Because I didn't get it. So I don't know. I'm asking, did she make a choice already? I don't know. I didn't understand. Oh, if he's not coming in, no one should have to come in. I like that one. They should automatically find him guilty. If their asses don't want to show up for court, face the fact, you don't want to face people. The judge may be showing compassion if it's a death penalty state. It's not. He's getting second degree murder, so that ain't even first degree. He's getting a lesser charge of second degree. I don't understand why they ain't got him for first degree murder. Yeah, if the jury has to be there, he should be there too. Exactly. In California, a person can go to jail for ignoring a jury duty summons. That's everywhere. You can go to jail if you're summoned in to go to jury duty and you don't go. You can go to jail for contempt. That's why people need to show their faces during a jury trial. I mean, I think so anyway. It's rather disgusting if you ask me. It's disgusting. Everybody's just waiting right now for, if they're going to do anything else. Hey, Ada Cox, first degree premeditated. He didn't premeditate. Is that what it is? He flew mad and hit her. So that's why it's second degree. Did the judge already state he doesn't have to come? It should be first degree and put him in a box with a face mask and make him stand the whole time. Actually squat. I know. These people think they're above everything. He has got you can tell he's a narcissist. They're letting this narcissist man run the freaking show. They're letting him run the show. That's the sad part of it, is that he gets to dictate what he does and what he doesn't do. He gets to dictate this trial. He's already running this trial on his own. If I was that judge, I wouldn't even have negotiated with him. Yeah, let him admit to what he was doing. Yeah, he's pleading guilty to those two charges, right? But I would also say, listen, you're going to come tomorrow, whether you like it or not. You're going to come in shackles and chains, but your ass is coming and you're facing the consequences of what you did to this precious little baby girl. I'm pushing 40 and I've never been called for jury duty. Wow. Never being called is almost unheard of in a small city. Yeah, I've been called like 3 times to jury duty. I actually made a murder trial, but I had heard so much about it. I had to tell the judge that I knew what happened. Like I've heard about it. So the judge dismissed me because I'd heard so much about the case already. I had to be honest and say, listen, I know these people and I've heard about this. So I can't, the United States needs to have a system like other countries have. An eye for an eye. I know. Hey, some countries don't play, do they? Keep some bitches like this from murdering a child. And it's her right to order him there too if she wants. I have seen it. They put him in a box with a full face mask, and it was a soundproof box with the court being audioed into the box only. I think he should have to be made to sit there and face the consequences. He can hide his face in a box. He's not going to hide his face. He's not going to be able to hide his face from God. When he faces his maker one day for what he's done to her, he can't lie to God because God's seen it. God knows all. Just like Cain, when Cain killed his brother Abel, he hid from God, and God said, "Your brother's blood cries out to me from the earth." He couldn't hide. He had to face God that he killed his brother. I enjoy having you in Jinky's chat last night, Miss Daisy, and everyone getting along. Well, I didn't get to stay long. I fell asleep actually. I didn't want to go up there because there's still a lot of people that I don't get along with over there on that channel. But I stayed for a little while. I served an alternate juror. You did? I was on a court case downstairs, but it was just some kind to do with a will. But I got picked for that one murder trial upstairs, and I had to have myself dismissed because of me knowing too much. The guy was being impossible, so I mean, if the worst case, he's acting up, and that's what happens in this case. I saw a few years ago. Yeah, a lot of times they'll put things over their faces so where they can get that they can't spit and everything. And well, y'all seen the attack of that judge. You seen the attack of the judge where that guy leaped over the banister over the thing and attacked that judge and tried to kill her. They got him for attempted murder and everything. He was hurt. He was wanting to hurt her bad. These people are so evil, they have no mercy or no respect. Their narcissism is so strong that they think they're above everything. And Adam is a perfect example of that. I was called for a jury duty, but I was going through a divorce and I wasn't strong enough mentally. I wrote a letter to the judge and he dismissed it. Well, that's good, Rhonda. I've been 13 jury duties before and had sat for a whole trial and then I was dismissed. Oh, that sucks, Amy Lynn. That's horrible. I do think Adam needs to be at the table correct and he acts correctly, then yes, sits at the table. Just saying with the way he wants the courtroom went into the courtroom yesterday. Yeah, he thinks it's a big joke. Like he's walking in there acting like, wow, ha ha ha. I don't give two shits about what you all think what I did to my daughter. You all can kiss my you know what. I mean, just by the way he walked into that courtroom, I mean, just makes you sick. It makes you sick. And to see them butter his
Monday.com is the ideal platform for any organization that is looking to.
Hang on. Who is calling me? It ain't let me call. I can't answer it, y'all. It's not calling me from my phone from here. So I'm not going to be able to answer it calling me. Whoa, thank you, Renee. Thank you for that super chat. That super sticker. Thank you. God bless you for that. Thank you for supporting my channel. My dad was the only one I've ever known who loved jury duty. He was called in all the time. Wow, he must have liked those cases. Thank you, Nene. Thank you. Let's see. I'm never have it against my religion. I'm not judge, only God. Well, you could tell him that. You definitely could tell him that. I wouldn't make a good juror. I've done too much stuff myself. Was just not dumb enough to get caught. I would tell the judge I may look like an upstanding citizen, but looks can be deceiving. Yeah, but you're not that way anymore, Ada Cox. You're not like that. You ain't like that no more. Okay, hang on. Let me see. She sent me a link. Okay, so this is the uncle. Thank you, Crystal. Crystal sent me the interview with the mother of Adam, or Kayla Montgomery, and I guess the interview with the pops to the uncle of Adam, talking about what he did. Hang on. Let me take Harmony's picture down here. This is Kayla's mother here talking about what a monster. This interview right here makes me think Kayla's mom knew what Adam did to Harmony.
Just help. And she has made her choices, and that's all I can say. I'm just asking you, just for the children's sake, I do pray for Harmony, and I did have something come to me today for the police that I thought may help, which I did tell the police I'm not going to give that out yet because I don't want to hinder it in any way. Just please.
When did you see Harmony?
I knew it was in the wintertime. I wasn't exactly sure when. And when I spoke with my daughter, she was telling me it was a day after Thanksgiving. Okay.
That last year in 2020 or 2021?
No, that was in 2019.
And did you ever ask your daughter where she was after that? That you never saw her again?
I want to say,
well, she told me that.
Thank you, Innocence. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships. It looks like Tamara, Misty Goodwin, Nene, Lucky Charms, and Cindy got the memberships. Woohoo! Thank you, Innocent. Thank you for supporting my channel. Let me see if I can find my call bell. It's way down here. Hang on, y'all. I got to get it. Hang on. Thank you, Innocent. God bless you for supporting my channel. Like I said, you guys, any support will help because they're flagging these videos. I don't know why they're flagging them, but they're flagging them. And so I don't get no views on them. So thank you. Thank you for giving 5 memberships. Thank you. God bless you. All right, we'll continue on. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Because they came here the end of December during the holidays, and they were here briefly. I asked her, I'm like, well, I expected Harmony to do them, and they said no. And I know they've been kind of living on the streets and in a car kind of thing. And well, she didn't say no. She said she's with her mother. And I didn't question it because I didn't know until all the news, the history of the family. And Adam, for the first couple of years, was some sweet guy, and he's not. He is pure evil. He is pure evil. So I really, really hope the information that came to me today that can help in the search for Harmony. And that's really where my prayers are now, because my grandchildren will be with me, so I'm not going to be worried about them. And just please respect the privacy.
Yeah.
This is so scary for
Do you think
children.
Harmony's do you think Harmony's still alive?
I hope and pray she's still alive, but it's been 2 years, so I don't know.
You got to be heartbroken over this.
I'm distraught. My body's been shaking every couple hours because I can't get away from it. You know what I mean? I can't not check the news. I want to know what's going on, and I have spoken to police several times.
Do you think your daughter had any involvement in her disappearance?
Kayla told me that just as in her affidavit, and I drilled my daughter. Believe me, I asked. With her history, yeah, she used to be a liar, but I know how to get the truth out of my daughter. The youngest daughter, her daughter wasn't born yet, and Harmony was with him. He dropped her off at work, and he said to her, "I am bringing Harmony to her mother." And then he came back later. I don't know how many hours. I don't know that she was working at a Dunkin' Donuts. I've given all that information to the police, but Kayla said, "Where is he?" She didn't say where she is, but I don't know. I'm so confused right now.
And when do you think that happened?
In my mind, from what I've tried to gather, and all the media has been great with trying to get all the information out there, and the social media I thought has been great too. But I think it happened like in a week period, and I think it happened from December 6th till prior to December 6th. So December 6th, anytime after Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving to December 6th. So it's like there's the 30th of the month, so it's like 6 to 7 days. So I think something happened in that week, and I don't know what day. I asked the police if they checked my daughter's records, because my children are brought up where they have to tell the truth and they have to fess up. And my daughter has broken every time for me in the past. And I said to her, and I said to her, and I said to her, I said, "Are you sure?" I said, "What couple doesn't communicate about this?" And so forth. And I know those are the questions out there. My daughter does have a good heart, but I don't know what her heart was on this, but I do believe her. She's staying very, very consistent in what she's saying. And I can tell by her, I'm her mom, I can tell.
So that whole drop off, you're saying that's between Thanksgiving, December 6th?
Day after Thanksgiving and before December 6th.
2019.
Yes.
Okay.
And what's the significance of December 6th that makes that date stick in your head?
That date was reminded to me by my daughter because they were homeless and they needed a place to come. And I said, "Well, I don't really have a room, my landlord." So they were just here during the holiday, during that time.
You said Adam is the devil. Why did you say that?
He can sweet talk and swindle like he did with us for the 2 years. And then everything he points the finger at everybody else and talks up quite the storm. And it's a lot of, he talks like jail talk. That's all I can
What
say.
about abuse? The allegation yesterday was he was abusive towards Harmony.
I don't know about that because I didn't have much when
Okay, so this was that one there. So I don't know if they're going to be coming back anytime soon. It'll probably be hours before they actually come back to this. So I might pull that back up again where I went over it yesterday. Most of y'all were with me when we went over what he did to Harmony. Most of you all were with me step by step, from the time she was born, and what happened with her. But unfortunately, they may be back this evening. But I have a feeling that they will probably be at least a couple hours before they. What the uncle says is pretty crazy. Let me see if I can find what the uncle said. Let me see. Interview with Harmony's uncle. See if I can find that because I seen that. He was upset because they didn't pay attention to him. Interview with Harmony's Montgomery uncle. And I'll show you the thing too. Here it is. Great uncle. So he was the great uncle of Harmony Montgomery's. He was Adam's dad's brother. So right here it is.
A second arrest in the.
Let's see. I think this is where he speaks out. All right, here it is.
All from police or family members
This is the
on Harmony's whereabouts.
None.
Nothing at all. No one sharing
No.
any information with you.
Nope.
So
No.
tell me, what made you initially call the police on your nephew, on Adam? What was it that got you so worried?
So I won't get into details, but there was just things that raised an alarm with me, and I called the authorities. And I'll just be clear, I love the police. They're doing everything they can. First and foremost, DSS, or Family and Children's Services, failed my niece here. And that's why we're here today. If they listened in the first place, this wouldn't be happening. And my niece is out there. She has family that love her, aunts and uncles and grandmothers and great grandmothers and grandfathers. And yeah, we just want her home. And I don't like the public. If you can't help the situation, please don't distract from what the people that are trying to help are doing. The words, the viciousness, everybody wants to be in this story but me. I want to be as far away from this story as I possibly can, but I can't. I have to be my niece's voice, and I'll stay as relentless as long as my body will take, as much as it will take. I know there's a lot of support out there, but there's a lot of aggressiveness, and just back off.
Kevin, can I ask you if you've had a chance to talk with Adam, who is, again, he's your nephew, and Harmony is your grandniece, but have you had a chance to talk with Adam since he's been arrested, or even within the days around his arrest?
I haven't talked to him in years.
Tell me about that.
I kind of want to keep the focus on Harmony here, please. I don't want to. That's my concern. The justice system, whatever happens, all that will take its course. I'm here to try to raise awareness, money with my GoFundMe page, and I just want to stick the focus on Harmony. I don't want this story to die. I don't want it to fizzle out. I want to talk about finding Harmony. Anyone out there that has seen Harmony, it doesn't matter if it was 6 months ago, 6 weeks ago, anything will help. Any information, any. Just imagine if it was your daughter, your niece, your granddaughter. People know. Someone knows. Someone knows something. Someone saw something.
So, Kevin, let me ask you, because there is so little information and because Harmony has been missing for so long, the only thing anyone has to go on is what was happening right up until the time that Harmony disappeared. And so that's why some of these questions are, as uncomfortable as they are, they're necessary. In the police affidavit, you were very informative about some of the things that had happened to little Harmony before she went missing. And it was just heartbreaking to read the details that Harmony had been, I think one of the quotes is bashed around the house by Adam, that she'd been forced to clean a toilet with a toothbrush, and that she'd been forced to stand in the corner for hours, to the point where she wet herself. And then there are big redactions, big black marks all through some of the things that you told the police. Can you fill in what those blanks are, Kevin? What were the other things that you said that have been blacked out?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't know what's blacked out. I never seen those reports. I know what I said in the reports, and I stand that I said what I said. And I don't want to mess up this investigation by giving out too much information. The police are working their tails off. I know they are. I talk to them often. And
Heart Royal Flush Tour 2024.
yeah, I talk to them often about any way I can help. About any details I can remember, we try to go over. And it's just heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking.
Kevin, can I ask, in some of the history that we've been reading through and trying to piece together this mystery, you called the police in July of 2019 because you'd seen Harmony with a black eye. And then it's my understanding, was it you that called the police in October, just a couple months later? And if that was you, what was the circumstance that led to that call?
Correct. So that call it was my mother's house, and we wanted to go there and get some things that my mother wanted to retrieve and to check on the kids. And when we got there, we had to get a police escort when we got there to go in and get some of the things.
Can you tell me why and what it was that was so concerning that you would need a police escort to enter the home?
There was just conflict there. We had a falling out for whatever transpired previous to that. And so just the safest way for no issues was to just get someone there that can mediate the situation.
So in that visit with the police escort, did you see Harmony and did you see what condition she was in?
I did. She looked timid, but that's all I could say on that. I only got a brief look at her.
And was that the last time any other family member that you know of saw her?
At least my immediate family. I'm not sure about his other side of the family. I'm not sure. My immediate family, on my side of the family, yes.
Did Harmony say anything to you on that last visit when you last saw her 2 years ago that might have been an indication that things were really bad in that home?
No, she didn't say nothing.
Was she allowed to talk to you?
I'm not sure. I didn't see anything to be said for her not to talk to me. I'm not sure.
And Kevin, what was the condition of the home? What did it look like when you went in there? This is the home where, this little child was last living at 5 years old.
It just, it wasn't well at all. It just wasn't well.
Can you be more specific?
Yeah, I would rather not comment.
I know this is difficult for you. I know these questions are tough. I think everyone who's watching just wants to get as much information as possible to piece together this mystery and hopefully lead to finding your niece and solving this awful mystery. There are more children, 3 other children by Kayla and Adam. Those would be half siblings of Harmony. Do you know where they are staying tonight? Because both Adam and Kayla are now in jail. To our knowledge, are not able to make bond. Adam obviously facing these related charges, not to her being missing, but to child abuse and neglect. And Kayla now facing charges for fraud, for still collecting the food stamps for the last 2 years, even though Harmony's been nowhere to be seen. Where are their 3 other children tonight?
So from what I believe, only from a news interview from the mother, Kayla's mother has them.
Kayla's mother. So is that a safe environment? Do you know anything about her?
No, I don't ever remember meeting her mother, but it could have been once, but I'm not sure.
Did you have any concerns about Kayla? I know you had your concerns about Adam. You called the police, but did you have any concerns about Kayla?
Kayla and what? Did I have any concerns about Kayla with what?
And how she treated Harmony and what Harmony's circumstance was living with her?
I just don't want to.
Well, he's acting crazy. Like he's on some kind of substance.
I know it's difficult, but it's important information.
it is.
You know, when people are trying to figure out where to look, where to think, what clues might have been going on before she disappeared.
I understand that, but that's my purpose. That's my purpose, is to raise awareness on how to find her, who might have seen her, and that question has nothing to do with where Harmony may or may not be today.
I think so, Diamond.
Can I ask you this difficult question, Kevin? And I think it's imperative because the way you're speaking, it sounds like you believe that Harmony is still alive. I think everybody wants to know if, people who knew Adam or people who know Adam, and certainly that's your nephew, if you think he may have killed her.
In my opinion.
I would not answer that. I'm holding out hope that we find and bring Harmony home safe.
Who's on that, Lord?
What's in your gut?
My gut tells me there's always hope until you tell me there's no hope left to have.
I know this has been a tough night for you, all things considered, the weather as well. But Kevin Montgomery, thank you so much. I know you're raising money for the reward money for your GoFundMe. Let's hope that we can find your little grandniece. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below.
I also heard that he was indicated with the possible suspect in the murder of the guy that Adam was a suspect in. So he's a little sketchy too. But I think it was more or less probably his mother that was more worried about Harmony than he was, because he was not, you could tell he's on something. Let's see. He was just acting strange. Like, I appreciate the fact that he called for Harmony and that he reported it, but maybe the mother was more involved. Let's see. I was trying to see if they had it exactly where he said but it'll come out in court. Okay, so the arrest affidavit against Adam Montgomery notes that his uncle called DCYF with a concern for Harmony's injury. I'm going to read this for you guys, okay? Let me take this down so you all can read with me if you want to. I'm going to take me completely down and read it, okay? I'm still here, guys. So, a DCFF concerned for Harmony's injury after he found Harmony with a black eye, though it does not indicate when that took place. Prosecutors alleged that Adam Montgomery admitted to his uncle that he inflicted injuries on Harmony just a month after Child Protective Services granted him custody of the then 5-year-old. I bashed her around the house, Adam Montgomery alleged told his uncle in July 2019. To justify the abuse, Adam allegedly said that injuries was punishment after he left his daughter in charge of watching her infant brother while Adam was in the bathroom and later found the baby crying. The abuse charge mirrored allegations previously made by Kevin Montgomery to the Daily Beast, who said that he called DCYF after seeing Harmony's injuries and nothing happened. Kevin recalled other forms of abuse discipline during that time frame that raised concern. The affidavit states nothing that Montgomery recalled Harmony being spanked hard on the butt, being forced to stand in the corner for hours, and being ordered to scrub the toilet with her toothbrush. A spokesperson from DHHS did not immediately respond for comments on Tuesday. On Monday, however, the agency told the Daily Beast that state of federal law requirements us to protect the confidentiality of children and family serves with individuals engaged with the Division of Children and Youth. Kevin has also said that the last time he saw his grandniece on October 19th, 2009, when he says he called the police to the house where he lived with several family members, including Harmony and Adam. During the continuous episode, Montgomery said Harmony looked like a scrappy puppy. Harmony was quiet. She wasn't saying much, her great uncle said. Let's see. Then he said, I said in 2019 that I thought Harmony should be out of Adam's custody, Montgomery said on Thursday. The main concerns that was keeping her safe. A spokesperson for Manchester Police Department did not immediately respond to the request for the comments on Thursday, but Chief Alan Adelberg previously confirmed Harmony was last seen at the home in the city after officers responded to the October 2019 service call. So I'm not really seeing him saying anything else. Affidavit admits that investigators spoke to several family members in an attempt to track down Harmony. Among them was Adam Montgomery's brother Michael, who also raised concern about the child during his police interview. Attempts to reach Michael Montgomery this week were unsuccessful. Michael recalled during the last physical contact with Harmony and Adam, he had concerns that Adam was physically abused towards Harmony. The affidavit states Michael recalled Adam was super short with the child, and he learned through other family members that Adam had given Harmony a black eye. For Montgomery, the news that his nephew was being charged for harming Harmony does not make him feel any better because my niece is still missing. I want to make it clear that my bigger concern right now is finding Harmony, Montgomery said, but I believe that we are not finding her, if at all, but not alive. That's what I believe. I would love to be wrong, though. So he believed that Adam unalived her as well. They knowed, but at least they did. At least they did turn it in. I think more or less. Hey, Angel Lopez, Is there a trial going on now? I thought that's what the title of your video is. Yes, there is currently a title. There is a trial going on, but right now they took the jurors out. Let me pull that back up. They took the jurors out to the site of where Harmony was unalived. And so we're waiting for the jurors to come back. We're not going to be going with them. So actually, there is a trial right now, but currently we are waiting for the jurors to return from the site of where Harmony was unalived and where she lived. Poor precious little girl. It breaks my heart. I know it breaks my heart too. So the grandmother, which is Harmony or Adam's grandmother, was concerned for Harmony's sake too. And you would think that if the person's own family member would report that, just because there wasn't a black eye found does not mean that he was not hitting that little girl around. Did they take this baby to the side and ask her questions by herself? Or did they ask her in front of her abusive father? Yeah, kids can seem happy, but that doesn't mean they're not being abused. I think it takes a strong person to admit they can't parent a child. I do too. I do too. And even though my stepdaughter gave me a bit of a hard time over Bub a little bit, she ultimately signed Bub over to us. And so, you know, she knew she couldn't take care of him. So she signed him over to us. Now, for anybody that's coming in, the trial has been going on. The jurors are currently out looking at the grounds of where Harmony Montgomery lived and died and lived in a car where she was ultimately beat to death by her father. So the way the prosecutor in the opening statement sounded to me as if he continued to hit Harmony even after Burger King. Like, was he even planning on getting this baby something to eat, or did he just get himself something that day? Because it sounds like to me that he was planning on just getting him and that Kayla something. Did he even feed this baby girl? He admitted to the abuse of corpse and falsifying evidence. Did you catch that part? Yes. Yeah, we got it where he admitted to it. So I think this is what I think. To keep him from having to face trial. You're welcome, my three sons. To keep him from having to face trial, I think he's going to take a plea bargain. Unfortunately, where he dismembered Harmony and distributed her throughout God knows where, he's never going to tell where she's at. I just don't believe that he's going to do that. But he may actually go forth with a plea bargain. I don't know. Now that he's at abuse of a corpse and tampering with physical evidence. And he doesn't even want to come to the court. They went to pick him up and he refused to go to court today. So he's running the freaking show. And it pisses me off that they're letting him get away with it. They're like buttering his butt. Oh my gosh, Harmony is such a cute, sweet looking little girl. She is. This is baby Harmony, you all. This is her when she was in the foster home. It's sad. It's very sad. But that's just, there she is again. We've been covering Harmony's case from the beginning, y'all. As new evidence has come forth, we've been covering her case. So this isn't new. We were covering it when they were taking the refrigerator and all the stuff out of the apartment. They wrapped the refrigerator up in black plastic. Remember, you all? And they did that. and we said that there was something in there. They put biohazard around that refrigerator. Well, Harmony's body was being kept in this refrigerator and in the ceiling and in the a cooler and in the closet and God and his work. She was kept everywhere. They dug up the backyard. This is the house that she was living in with no electricity, and they were using a generator. They thought Harmony's little body was back here. They dug it up and didn't find anything. And this is the place where the jurors are currently going right now. To the side of the home, to the site where they were living in the back of the buildings, in the back parking lot of the buildings, with this precious, precious little baby girl. It's very, very sad, you guys. This is the inside of the house, as you can see. This is the cord running into the house that from the generator to the refrigerator. This is what the house looked like when DCS showed up one of the times to investigate little Harmony's abuse alleged. But of course, they said there was no signs of abuse to this little one. So they dropped the ball on this baby. She was failed not only by her own mother, her father, her stepmother's mom, DCS, the police department, you name it, that baby was failed. And all people in her life failed her. And it's quite sad, you guys. Oh, wow. Yeah, Harmony's uncle, Debbie just sent me a thing where Harmony's uncle was trying to run a GoFundMe. Why? Why does this man need money? I mean, I get that he did call the DCS, he did call the police, but why is he trying to collect money off of Harmony? See, I don't trust him either. I just think that I think he's just like Adam, even though he did have a little bit more mercy for Harmony than Adam did, you know. But try to collect money off a baby like that, no, don't give any of them any money. They don't deserve it, in my opinion. They don't. So I'm gonna bring this up here, and let's see if there's a video on it. I don't know. Let me see if there's anything new on it that he said. I don't know. Let me see. Maybe this is it. Let me see here. I'm going to try to bring this up and see if this is a video. I like to show some videos on here, but that doesn't look like one to me. Let's give it a minute and see. I am freezing, y'all. Are y'all cold? Let these commercials go and we'll see.
You get the ultimate in luxury performance, and they come with an 80,000.
Let's see if these commercials will go. We'll see if I don't know if these are just all commercials or not. So it looks like that they are. So yeah, it's a GoFund. Kevin has a GoFundMe page offering reward money to anyone who can locate Harmony. My 7-year-old niece, Harmony Montgomery, is missing. So here is the picture of Adam and Harmony. As you can see, Harmony looks just like her dad, just like him. Like, she's the spitting image of this monster, unfortunately. This guy has a long and extensive criminal past. He has a a long history of criminal activity. Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, I have to cut up chickens for dinner tonight. I'll be listening, but out for 1 minute. Jesus has got to be crying over these cases because all these kids are his creation. Y'all kill the helpless. That pisses me off. I know. No, I don't. Because I'll be covering this week. So I'll be trying to get up early, y'all. Y'all seen I was up last night. So I woke up late and actually Dee Dee sent me a message and said, Harmony's cases today. So yeah. So let's see what's going on here. If there's anything. No, they're still waiting for the jury in Harmony's case. They're still waiting for that. So we're just waiting for that. And from there on, I'm also going to see. The uncle was weird. Very, very weird in this case. So, yeah. But I think I'm going to take you all back to step by step for the ones that missed it yesterday. If you want to, I can take it back where we went step by step from Harmony's birth till what the DCS did. If you want to do that while we're waiting on the jury trial, we can do that. The jurors to come back. Currently, we are waiting for the jurors to come back from the trip through the city. So Harmony did have a beautiful smile. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring that live up of yesterday where we talked about step by step again and just kind of let y'all get an overview of what was happening. I'm going to finish that up. And that way we can wait on when the juries come back. Ooh, it's 67 out. I need to get outside today, y'all. I don't want to sit in this house all day, but I want to cover this trial too. So here we go. Paperwork. Oh my. Mm, mm, mm. Sorry, guys. So in September of 2021, the very next year, okay, a whole year, a person close to Sori contacts DCYF and raises concern that Sori hasn't seen Harmony since 2019. So Sori did not reach out to DCYF. Another person did. Crystal. Crystal didn't reach out like she said. It was another person. So DCYF confirms Harmony has never been registered for school in Manchester. DCYF attempts to locate the Montgomery family. Finally, y'all, do y'all see a problem here? Do y'all see a problem here? Complete and thorough. Okay. Okay. All right. So November 18th of 2021, Sori calls Manchester police saying she hasn't seen her daughter since the Easter of 2019. FaceTime call. Manchester police says their phone records indicate that this is the only call the department has received from Sori. So they have confirmed that. December 27th, 1 year after, no, 2 years. 2 years after Harmony was unalived, DCYF notifies Manchester police they are unable to locate Harmony. Police start searching for Harmony's father. 2 years after this baby was unalived, they finally realized that this baby is gone. Wow. And this is probably the time. I'm not for sure when Kayla and him broke up. Okay. December 29th of 2021, Sorry Crystal sends a letter to Manchester Mayor Joyce Craig begging for help finding her daughter. So even the police department wasn't even taking this serious. What the hell, y'all? What the hell? December 31st, 2021, detectives find Adam Montgomery living in his car with his new girlfriend. Police describe him as uncooperative and refusing to provide information in Harmony's whereabouts. Police also interview Kayla Montgomery. So we're going to watch this video.
Right now, Manchester police are desperate for any information to lead them to a missing 7-year-old girl. Harmony Montgomery was last seen at a residence in the city in October of 2019, but police say she wasn't reported missing to them until this week.
We cannot investigate things if they're not brought to our attention. And when this was brought, we're on it.
Investigators aren't commenting on Harmony's parents or how they found out she was missing, only saying they have spoken to her family members.
So what's happened in the last 2 years? Fair question, right? That's why I'm here today, because we need assistance, we need help.
These pictures of Harmony were taken when she was about 5 years old. She has blonde hair, blue eyes, and is blind in her right eye, so she could be wearing glasses. Police say she may have been going to school in Massachusetts when she was last seen.
We're on the holidays, and no time is a good time for a child to go missing. But I'm imploring, I'm asking, even I'll go as far as I'm begging the community. All right, I don't care if you saw this young girl a year ago and you think it's irrelevant. Call us.
Manchester's police chief saying he's using every available resource to find Harmony as soon as possible.
I have detectives working on this that all have children of their own. I do not doubt their level of commitment, and we're going to stay at this 24/7.
Anyone who might be able to help is urged to call Manchester Police or the department's crime line. Reporting live in Manchester tonight, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, so you've heard that. Well, they've dropped the ball. That's why. Uh-oh. Hang on, guys. I accidentally, let me find that place again, y'all. Let me pull this up. I got to go back and find it. So, they've dropped the ball big time on this baby. So that's one of the reasons why they're so concerned. This baby had never even been registered for school. She never lived long enough to be registered for school. This poor, poor, poor little baby. So let's see. So, all right. So we're back here. And this is an awesome, awesome PowerPoint here. This is an awesome display of what happened in this baby's life. January 3rd, 2022. So this is 21. Finally, 1 year later, a 24-hour tip line is set up. Anyone with information is asked to call 603-203-6060. A reward fund eventually grows to $144,000. The line is later changed to 603-932-8997. Okay. So she's got a bigger reward fund than Summer does. And January 4th of 2022, the FBI joins Manchester Police to search the Guildford Street property where the Montgomerys used to live. Nothing is found in the 2-day search that includes digging in the backyard. And I remember when they dug in the backyard of this house. Y'all remember that? When they dug in the backyard and they didn't find nothing. That's because they actually moved out of that house. Harmony was unalived in the back seat of that. I think it was a car or a van. In January of 4th, 2022, Adam Montgomery is arrested and charged with second-degree assault, interference with custody, and endangering the welfare of a child. So he's not giving up any information. He's led them on a wild goose chase. Oh, I wonder who else done that. Could it be Casey Anthony? Didn't she do the same thing? So he's led law enforcement on a wild goose chase where Harmony is, which is a huge lie. And so did Kayla, his wife, or ex-wife. January 6, 2022, Kayla Montgomery is arrested and charged with a felony welfare fraud. This charge is later dropped and a new felony charge of theft is filed. Wow. So they're charging her for theft because of, I guess, the welfare where she was collecting welfare off Harmony for 2 years after she went missing. And they're letting this chick go with a slap on the wrist practically because she did tell what happened to Harmony. Okay. February 25th, 2022, a report is released by Governor Chris Sunyu's office releasing new details in the investigation and making recommendations for a new protection for children in the custody of disputes. I heard they were trying to change a law. I'm not for sure. That might have something to do with it. In March of 2022, Kelsey Smith, a woman who was dating Harmony Montgomery's father, Adam, before his arrest, is found dead in Manchester. She did not face charges in concrete connection with the case, and her death is not considered suspicious, sources. So, yeah, his girlfriend's found unalived, but no suspicious activities has been found on that. So, there we go. Okay. In April 4th of 2022, Adam Montgomery is arrested on a new charge of theft by unauthorized taking for alleged stealing a rifle and shotgun, 2 charges of receiving stolen property for alleged receiving or retaining the rifle and the gunshots, 2 charges of felon in the possession of alleged possessing of a rifle and shotgun after they've been convicted of 1 or more qualifying felonies, and 2 charges of armed career criminal for allegedly possessing the rifle and shotgun after having been convicted of the 3 or more qualifying. So he's took to jail. He's charged with gun charges. Investigators say the alleged thefts occurred between September 29th and October 3rd, 2019 in Manchester. So that was before Harmony was unalived. In April 12th of 2022, Kayla Montgomery, 31, is charged with 2 counts of receiving stolen property in connection with the alleged theft of firearms. Here in just a minute. Investigators again say there is no evidence that the charges are related to Harmony's disappearance. We really don't know if Kayla's telling the truth about what really happened. I'm going to stop to Harmony. That could be a huge lie. Go to something more worse and sinister could have happened. I'm going to go to the actual interrogation of Adam Montgomery. Y'all want to see that? Let's watch that because a lot of y'all have been with me through this already and seen that. So let's go to police interrogation. We're still waiting for the jury, so let's watch his interrogation while we do that, okay? Here we go. Here we go.
We may be able to work on that if we'll just turn this on. This is audio and video recorded. You all right with that? Nope. Okay.
This is the interrogation of Adam
Montgomery. Yeah, we got cigarettes somewhere, so try to work on that, okay? Before we have any conversations, I'm just gonna have you read something, okay? And then we'll just go from there. All right, just so you know, because you're under arrest right now, I have to read you this stuff, or you have to read it to me. Again, Detective Riley, Detective Dunleavy. It's January 4th, 2022. It's 8:55 p.m. You can read and write English, correct? Okay. So, Adam, I'm going to have you start from there where it says I, and then I'm just going to have you read down.
I, Adam Montgomery, have the right to remain silent.
So, start from here. I, Adam Montgomery.
Give the following voluntary statements. Detective Dunleavy, Detective Riley, who has identified himself as a member of the Manchester, New Hampshire Police Department. He has advised me following of the right to be silent and anything saying can be used against me in the court of law. I invite to a lawyer for advice before any questioning and to have one with me during questioning. For a lawyer will be appointed to me by the court. If I decide to answer questions now without my lawyer present, I still have the right to stop answering anytime. You understand? Yes.
Okay. Do you understand all of these 1 through 5?
Yep.
Okay. What I'm going to have you do, just initial 1 through 5. That just indicates that you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yep.
Bipolar 1, I got help to push back.
I got help
Sorry, guys.
to push
This is
back.
Commercial.
We got help to push back with Vivaldi.
Is that too fast for
All right.
you guys?
Can you just read that line
You
please?
understand each of these rights? Yep.
And you're going to check either yes or no? All right. And then read the next line for me.
Are you willing to have each of these rights? And are you willing to waive each of these rights and answer questions? Sure.
Okay. Now I'm just going to sign that line. All right. Appreciate it.
Before we go forward, can we get a cigarette in here?
So there's a sensor in there. So I'll work on getting you a cigarette at some point. I can't promise you one right now just because the room we're in, if this starts going
Oh,
off, I
he
don't
wants
wanna-
a cigarette.
Well, the building, you know what I mean?
But he don't
That
need
thing
a
will-
damn cigarette.
sprinkler. So, but at some point we'll work on getting you. I know we have cigarettes in here. I know where they are. Okay, you hear what I'm saying? Do you need water? You good? Okay. Are you okay? Okay. What's not okay?
What's up?
All right. So I'm just gonna ask you some basic questions. You said you can read and write English, correct? All right. Can you just state your full name for me?
Adam Montgomery.
And Adam, what's your birthday?
2290.
And what address are you using to
I'm
call?
not using any.
Okay. What phone number are you using?
I don't have one.
What was the highest level of education?
GED.
Where'd you graduate high school from?
I did. I got a GED.
No, but I know, but like, where'd you get
While I
that?
was incarcerated.
Okay. Right now, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No.
Okay. Do you have any traumatic brain injuries or anything like that? Anything that prohibits you from recalling any memories or anything like that?
Not that I know of.
Okay. All right. So we met before, right? We met the other day. I know you've had a long time down here. You've kind of been a roller coaster. I'm going to apologize for what happened out there. That's not how I do business, okay? That had nothing to do with me. Those are guys that like to play G.I. Joe, all right? If it had been up to me and I could have gotten a hold of you some way, I would have reached out to you. But you don't have a phone, right?
You guys could have just told my wife she wanted me to come in.
But aren't you not supposed to be talking to your wife?
No, that's bullshit.
It's nothing. You're not supposed to.
No, I can't be.
Thank you. Look at that.
I can't be.
I guess they're gonna let you smoke a cigarette. They must have talked to somebody.
I wanted to get Botox Cosmetic to diminish these lines that kind of became.
So I don't know why I was saying I can't talk to my wife because that's bullshit.
Maybe it's some old paperwork that somebody saw.
Yeah, from
As you guys can
Yeah,
see, he's
but
being
it
very
was
arrogant piece of
over and
shit.
done with after I got out of jail.
He has to have
So
his
that's all.
snow.
PCYF said it was cleared up. The police said it was cleared up. Everything said it was, they said that there was no contact order between me and her.
Okay, and that's Kayla we're talking about. All right. Well, you know, if that's the case, then that's my fault for maybe not checking a little bit further into it. So I apologize for that. Again, I apologize for the way things went down out there. Like I said, I'm not part of the SWAT team. I don't do that stuff. If I had a good number for you, I would have just called you in. But I don't have you don't have a phone. You said, right? Okay. So I apologize for that. I do appreciate you being cooperative with me. You've never given me a hard time. I know we've only met a few times, so thank you for that. Let's talk about why we're here to talk.
Tell me what you want to say.
Tell me what you know.
I don't know nothing.
Well, what was our conversation about the other day?
You said you had a couple questions you wanted to ask me. You asked me the questions.
Well, what was our conversation about the other day? Remember we met, I mean, you remember that was only, what, a few days ago, right?
Remember, this ain't his first rodeo dealing with
We got a
police.
lot of worried people and scared people right now in the community, I know you're worried about the well-being of your daughter, and I kind of want to get ahead of this because I don't want you to be painted as a monster.
Well, that's what you guys are already doing.
I am.
We're not doing that. Oh, yeah.
Can you explain that?
That's what you guys are already trying to do, man.
Explain to me how I'm trying to make you, or whoever is trying to make you out to be a monster. Who's telling you that stuff? Is there somebody that I work with that told you that? Somebody you're close with, that they told you that?
No.
All right. We understand this whole thing is getting a little out of hand. Would you agree?
Of course. But
So that's why.
look, it's just the way you guys are going about it.
And again,
Yeah,
I don't
not
make.
you specifically, but yeah, nobody comes out there like that for a second-degree assault charge. Nobody. Better arrested for worse charges. They don't come out and throw fucking flashbangs at my girlfriend's car and ram us into the fucking guardrail. They don't do that for a second-degree assault charge.
Again, you understand what the charges are, right?
What a
Second-degree assault,
smart ass.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
There's also an endangering the welfare charge
Okay.
and interference with custody. Okay,
So how did I interfere with custody?
So that paperwork that we served you the other day, you remember that?
Okay.
When they were in the alleyway, remember outside of Lake Ave?
Yeah.
There's paperwork that you have to comply with. You understand that, right? We had that conversation, did we not? Right? So that's what that's all about.
So second-degree assault charge, what is this referring to?
Well, that's what we want to talk to you about.
Well, explain to me what if I'm being charged with it. What the hell am I being charged with it for?
Well, your daughter had some injuries that you know about when you lived on Guilford Street.
No, I do not. What are you referring to?
Well, you were there, I wasn't, right?
What are you referring to?
I'm referring to her having some good marks.
What are you referring to?
Marks that were left on her by you.
Absolutely not. I have nothing else to say.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Like we talked about how we were worried about your daughter the other day, right?
Okay.
You remember that conversation?
I remember that conversation, but right off the rip, with the way you're approaching the conversation, you guys are completely out of line. So
Me?
yeah.
Do I? In the time you've known me, which
What you just said to me, you guys are completely out of line.
Okay, but so explain to me how are we out of line?
I have nothing to explain.
Okay, but wouldn't you rather explain it so we can make sense of it than just have other people's side of the story? Like, you want to defend yourself and like this picture people are painting of you. Now's your chance, man. Defend
Whose side of the story? Who's telling you these things?
people that were close to you.
Obviously not.
Well, maybe at the time, maybe not anymore. I mean, you saw that reward on the news, right?
No, I did not.
Do you know that the reward is about $40,000 to find where your daughter is right now?
Okay.
When you start throwing money around like that, people come out of the woodwork that you would never expect to do.
Okay.
So, like I said, when I talked to you a few days ago.
Can I have another cigarette?
Sure. I kind of told you this thing was going
Don't give him another.
We wanted to get ahead of it.
But you're sitting there telling me that right off the rip that there was something wrong with my daughter because of me. No, that's bullshit.
Okay. So if your daughter had marks on her at some point when you lived over there,
As
how would you explain those?
How would you get those marks? Well, I would love to know when that marks were there because DCYF came to my house multiple times.
Okay. And we know that they came in.
Right. And closed the case.
Okay. Do we know that DCYF is the flagship agency in the country?
No, but if there was significant marks like you're referring to, I believe they would have flagged something at that point and they would have said something. They would have came there and seen that the kids were well taken care of. All the kids loved being at the house with me.
So let me tell you about what second degree assault is. Because there's a lot that encompasses that charge. Basically, if there's a mark on a kid that's under a certain age, it constitutes second degree assault. Although it is a felony, which sounds extremely intimidating, it doesn't mean that somebody got their head bashed in or they got cut up or whatever. So although it sounds pretty intimidating, the charge, I understand that. What we're talking about doesn't mean that it's the craziest crime that's ever been committed. Do you understand what I mean?
Okay.
So somebody could have a bruise or a really bad welt on them. And that would constitute second degree assault for a kid under a specific age. So that's why that charge is there. So nobody is saying that you took like a baseball bat or like stabbed your kid. Like, I'm just going to put that out there. That is not what anybody's saying about you. So I know you're concerned with when I say second degree assault, but it sounds a lot worse than I think you're thinking it is. Are we kind of on the same page?
Yeah, but for you to sit there and say that.
$5 duo at Burger King. Double up flavors when hunger dings. Whopper Jr. and Royal Chris.
I do want to say we don't know if he hurt the other kids, but it was assumed that Kayla's mom has the other children, which I don't think that that woman should have those children. I think those children should be placed somewhere else. But hey, who am I? But yeah, you can tell he's nervous because he's arrogant and he's smoking like a freight train.
It was inflicted because of me.
We're just going on what we hear. You're not telling us anything, so we're going with what we have.
But I don't even know what you're referring to. What are you referring to?
Your daughter had a mark on her face that people, multiple people, have told us was inflicted by you.
Multiple people that weren't even living with us at the time.
Well, there was enough people that had spoken about it.
Yeah.
People share knowledge of what they know.
So somebody, you telling him, and then he tells you, and then he tells you, so something just
No,
gets passed down the line.
Yeah, we're not talking. I'm not talking about like a game of telephone here. I'm saying that people say a story and then the details kind of fill themselves in, like corroborate. Do you know
They
the word
should have got
corroborate
a
means?
different person. This
You're
guy,
a smart
this
guy.
guy's already pissed Adam off. They need someone with a more better approach. This guy's coming to Adam, who is a narcissist, in a different direction. I felt like they could have came at him in a different way because he's already annoyed with this guy already.
I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but when people kind of fill in
This
the
ain't
blanks,
his first
that's what I
rodeo,
mean by
remember, guys.
corroborating that story. But this is your time to tell me, kind of explain that. You know, if you're saying this was a mistake or this was an
I don't even
accident.
know what you're referring to. Like, that's what I'm trying to get at. Is I don't even know what you're referring to.
I'm saying she had a mark on her face. I mean,
Okay, I don't even know what you're referring to.
you don't recall your daughter ever having a mark on her face.
The reason DCYF came out to visit you guys, you don't recall that? Why did DCYF come out and start visiting you guys? What was the allegation?
If I remember correctly, it was because of I believe at the time, I could be wrong. I believe it had something to do with my uncle saying I was using drugs, and I wasn't.
Now, who's your uncle? So we are clear.
Kevin.
Okay. And Kevin's last name?
Montgomery.
Now, he lived there with you?
He lived there with me. Right around the time when I was first going back to get custody from my daughter.
Okay.
And then he left in April, May, March, something around that time.
And just so I have it right, because I don't want to guess or like get confused, what house are we talking about?
Guilford Street.
All right. And what was the number there again?
I'm not 100%.
Okay. Do you remember like what color the house was at least?
Beige, maybe.
Okay. And whose house was that originally?
My grandmother's.
All right. And grandma is who?
Kevin's mother.
Kevin's mother.
My dad's mother.
Okay. So was it the Montgomery group living over on Guilford Street?
Yeah, and they all moved out. My grandmother moved out in like January with my little brother, and they all moved down to Florida. And then Kevin went a couple months later.
And so grandma, uncle Kevin, you said little brother, and who's he?
My father's son, Michael.
So Michael, that's what I meant. Like, what's his first name?
Yeah, and his girlfriend.
And his girlfriend. Is he still with that same girl now?
I have no idea.
Oh, so you don't talk to Michael anymore?
No.
Okay. What was that girl's name at the time? Because maybe she could help us to say that like this is
Kayla, I believe.
So Michael's girlfriend name was Kayla at the time, and you dated Kayla at the time.
Yeah.
So it kind of got confusing in the house. Somebody was yelling for Kayla.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was Kayla? Kayla you were with at the time was
my wife.
Okay, Montgomery, and then Kayla he was with is
I have no
idea who she was. Okay, so there was grandma and Kevin. They moved out in when?
Grandma moved out in like.
I'm just trying to think of who we can talk to.
I'm
like,
trying to
like,
figure it out.
corroborate that
I'm
stuff,
trying to
you know what I
figure it out to go back. Like I think we moved over. Thank you. I think we moved over there.
Oh no, I didn't hear
moved
about
over there,
that.
like-
That's horrible, Lakita.
I don't know, October, September, somewhere around then.
And what year is that?
2018.
Okay.
And at the time, I was going for custody for my daughter for at least a year already at that point. And Crystal was showing no interest of going to get our daughter back. So finally, in like, I don't know, December, January, February, something along those lines, courts called me, told me I could come pick her up and bring her home, brought her home. And then, I don't know, it was I think the month before, my grandmother left with my brother and his girlfriend, and then the month after, I want to say, Kevin left.
So then who was left living at the house?
Me, Kayla, and the kids.
In that time period, I don't know which kids were born yet and who was.
It was Declan and Seamus.
Okay, and then
Harmony moved in with us.
Okay. So what time did DCYF get involved with you guys? Like, were they over there often, or was it just like a certain period of time? Or
They were there every single day. The police showed up every single day. Saying they did, because that's what it was. That's what it was due. That's what it was due to. So Kevin moved out because between me and my wife and Kevin, we were supposed to like pay the bills, keep the heat on, the gas on, whatever. Well, Kevin was supposed to pay the electric bill. He didn't pay the electric bill. Me and my wife, I picked my wife from work and showed up at home. They were shutting the electricity off. So me and Kevin got into an argument about not paying the bill, and he took his shit and moved out. And then so the next day, DCY, or 2 days later, something like that, I don't know, DCYF showed up and the police showed up because they said that we were unfit to have the children at the house because there was no electricity in the house.
Okay.
But we had a generator running, we had the fridge hooked up to it, there's food in the fridge, everything was fine. The police showed up, seeing that the kids was fine, there was nothing wrong with them. The DCYF showed up and they left.
And was that like summer or fall? Like, when was that?
I want to say maybe spring going into summer. Maybe.
Oh, okay. So like, you guys hadn't been there for too long then.
6 months or so.
Okay. And how did it end up that you guys got kicked out of there?
All right, so it was my grandmother's house.
Right.
They didn't pay the mortgage or whatever. They moved to Florida, so the mortgage payments weren't being paid. And I don't know, right around Thanksgiving sometimes, the sheriffs came and threw us out. And then me, Harmony, and Declan, and Seamus, and Kayla left.
And where the heck did you guys go from there?
We were in our car.
Oh, so you lived in your car at that time?
For a couple of days.
Okay.
And then
did you have like a van or something like that back then? At least, what were you driving back then?
On a Chrysler of some kind, I forget.
Oh, so it was just like a sedan?
Sedan, yeah.
Okay, so you're living in the car, so you, Kayla, and the 3 kids were living in the car for a few days, and then how'd you get up out of that situation?
So
Like, who took you?
my question is, did they find this car and search this car and see if there was evidence of Harmony being in the back seat of this car? Because he doesn't want to give a whole lot of information out. So they're living in the car now.
Yeah, or where'd you guys end up?
We lived in our mom's house, Kayla's mom's house.
Okay, and what's her name?
Chris.
Chris, how's she? Well, I mean, she must be okay. She's willing to take you guys in.
Yeah. All right. They're like, all right. I, you know what, man? Like, I don't even want to talk anymore. Like, this is just beating around the bush, man. It just seems a little too silly to me.
Well, I'm trying to figure out who can substantiate your claims that there's like you're not this like monster of a person that
he's
either
lawyering
DCYF
up.
made you out to be, or your family who you didn't get along with, or whoever. So that's why I'm trying to like let you kind of speak your piece about all that shit. You know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying. I just got nothing else to say. And like, oh yeah, and like, I just don't want to sit there and like, kind of smoke another butt.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't smoke cigarettes. I'm a little lightheaded myself.
I just know I don't smoke for a minute.
Third cigarette.
But yeah, no. But to sit there, man, and sit there and tell me you yourself too, like, this is why I feel like it's just all bullshit. This is just a game. I know it is. I'm stupid. You fucking.
Just trying to give you the opportunity to explain yourself.
You're sitting here telling me not to make me out to look like some monster. I told my girlfriend the other day that she should get the fuck away from me. That I know you don't even know who I am and what my past is like and all sorts of crazy shit. Like, but sit there and look me in my face.
Adam, I think you're talking about Kelsey.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Kelsey might be exaggerating a little bit.
I don't know her to exaggerate like that.
It wasn't us talking to Kelsey either.
Oh,
there was other people talking to her. Just so you know.
She told me, she gave me your card and said this was the guy that said it.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you that I didn't say that. But if you want to believe it, that's fine.
I mean, she never had no reason to lie to me, so I don't know what she would lie about at that point.
She also told me she had no idea that you had a daughter, so I guess we
Mr. Montgomery informs New Hampshire State Prison officials that he will accept the transport, then transport will be informed and they'll immediately go up to the prison to get him, okay? So that would mean he would be here on time. If he refuses transport, the sheriff's office will be notified and transport vehicle will not be sent to the New Hampshire State Prison. The New Hampshire State Prison shall notify the sheriff's office and provide documentation of the refusal to the court. This process will continue each day throughout the trial and through the verdict unless there's further order of the court. Okay, and I just wanted to go through that with you because if you do speak to Mr. Montgomery tonight, you can let him know that that's the order I'm going to issue. We'll need to communicate with the court will need to communicate with the prison, but that's the order I'm going to issue, and that's what I expect will happen. Okay. All right. I think I've asked them to come back at 8:45 tomorrow morning. I've given them the communication instruction. I told them that if their regular route home involves driving by any locations that we drove by today, that they can take their regular route, but they're not to, pay any extra attention to those areas that we were in today. All right. Anything from that the state feels we should cover?
I guess two different parts here. First of all, with regards to the instruction and the order on transport go, the state entirely agrees. There's been two separate, and just for the record, there's been two separate colloquies with the court, between the court and Mr. Montgomery today. It certainly seems that he is very clear in his intentions of what he wants to do and what he does not. The state accepts that and doesn't challenge that in any way. We agree with the court's plan on how to deal with that moving forward. I think one of the two things that the state just wants to bring up is tomorrow morning. I know we're going to have the jurors back here for 8:45. What time might the courtroom be open, and what time would you like to start with opening arguments, just so we can make sure the rest of the technology is going to work and it's in an appropriate location?
Okay, so what I told the jurors is be back here at 8:45. If all goes according to plan, that we would begin openings at 9. Okay, if everybody's here and everybody's ready before 9, then we would start before 9. But 9 would be certainly the go time. Okay, absent some extraordinary circumstance, given the number of circumstances we had today, it would be great if somebody from each side can be here a little earlier, even if it's just one of you, because one of you can communicate with the other via phone if necessary. So that's fine. I think you have a longer distance to travel. Actually, I have no idea how far you come. So, so just being here a little early. Let me see what time can the courtroom be open?
They open at 7:45.
What about the courtroom?
Oh, whenever you tell them.
Maybe 8:30, Your Honor, if that's available.
Oh, definitely.
And I'll just at least give us 15 minutes before the 8:45 time to make sure things are ready.
That sounds great. And that way, if defense can also be here on that a little bit earlier side, so that we can just confirm that everybody's comfortable with where the technology is. That would be great. You don't have to come that early, but I just want to do it so that we can get an on-time start. And if we need to move things around, we can. It does look like we have a podium, so that's good. You'll have your witnesses lined up and ready to go for a full day.
Yes, we're going to be speaking with our advocate just in a few minutes as soon as we get from this hearing, Your Honor, and we'll be able to provide that list to defense counsel before they leave the courthouse. So we just need a couple of minutes. I know typically we always make sure it's done by 6 p.m. I think we'll be able to be earlier than that.
Great.
I guess, God bless you. I think just separate from that, Your Honor, one thing that looking through the inter-office memorandum you stated regarding, apologize, let me slow down, Lieutenant Burke's write-up of Sergeant Fullermont's write-up of the interaction today. You stated earlier on that this is something that typically would be filed in court regarding the refusal for a transport.
Well, I don't know. I know that when we have that from the House of Correction, I don't know if it gets transmitted by the House of Correction to the court, and the court puts it in the file. That must be the way it happens. So we can put this in the file as we do, but the House of Corrections is not a memo. It's just a defendant refused. Sometimes it has some explanation on it, but it's not quite like that. So that's why I would like you to confer with each other. I don't see any reason why it can't be uploaded.
I say, and I think the state's position is going to be that it should be uploaded in memo. Certainly the facts that were in there were taken into account when considering the defendant's colloquies today. Certainly the defense counsel should have an opportunity to talk about it amongst themselves, but it is the state's position that this should be.
Say anything about that? Or you want to take some time to read it more carefully? You just got it, so.
Right, I think that there's new information on there that sort of falls into some of the concerns that I addressed earlier this morning, so yes, I'd like some more time with it.
Okay. So, all right, anything else you wanted to raise? No? All right, thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning. If something else, I'll issue this order today. If anything comes up, please let the court know and we'll make sure that we get a chance to communicate about it. Okay, thank you.
All right.
So it looks like that they're going to end it for today and continue it tomorrow. Nothing really, just jury selection. Adam pleaded guilty to abuse of a corpse and tampering with evidence. Not jury selection, but they took the jury to the on-site places. And then tomorrow they'll proceed with the trial. In the morning, I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of the interrogation on Adam, and then I'll end this live. You all please join me tomorrow morning. I've been doing this. I've been doing Harmony's case from the beginning. I'm very familiar with this case. I will be back in the morning, bright and early, to cover this case. I might do a later on live stream tonight, but I'm not sure. And so Adam, it looks like to me they're giving Adam the choice whether or not he wants to show up for court, and I bet he don't tomorrow. How much y'all want to bet that he don't show up again tomorrow? So maybe that's a good thing on his behalf. Maybe by him not showing up, that looks even worse on him when it comes to the jury. So hell, if that puts him in jail faster, then let him not show up. But with that being said, I'm going to show you all the rest of this interrogation, and then there's only just a little bit left, and then I'll end the live for tonight, and I'll be back. So let's listen into the rest of this arrogant, narcissistic interrogation by Adam Montgomery.
We can say the same thing about you telling her that. Right, well, right? She knew I had a daughter. I mean, I have one with Kayla, so she knew I had a daughter.
She didn't know about Harmony.
She knew I had other kids.
She told me she had no idea that you ever lived with her and that you barely knew her. I don't know if she was lying to me because or whatever. I have no idea. I don't know her. I know you better than her, so that's what I'm saying. So Christina takes you guys in, and she's doing all right. And then
Thank you, Debbie.
Street after that, is that when you guys get that spot?
Nope, we go to the shelter.
And that's the one on. Okay.
Who's we? Who went to the shelter? They allowed you to go as a family to the shelter?
See, I thought they didn't let guys there for some reason.
They always let guys there. They didn't let me in there this time for no reason. The reason was bullshit because I would have been there with Kayla again.
So back then they let you in there.
Yeah.
And it was all of you guys, it was the 5 of you. They let you guys stay there.
Larry's not just a fan. He's a mic. So no wind or rain will extinguish.
It's commercial.
No. All right, see, yeah, you guys are just.
Exactly.
I'm trying to understand. I don't know your timeline of life, man. You're there. I'm not. That's why I'm trying to ask you these questions.
I already told you the other day what transpired. So we didn't even go to her mother's house.
Okay. Who didn't go to her mother's house?
Harmony was on.
Okay, so Harmony didn't go to Chris's house. So explain to me how she didn't end up going to Chris's house.
I've already explained this to you.
Okay.
Well, there's some discrepancies between what you're telling us and what other people are telling us. You're saying you brought her down to Mass. Somebody said she came up from Mass.
I never once said I brought her down to Mass.
What did you say? She came up here to get her?
I never once said.
What? He's getting nervous.
I never once said I went down to Mass.
So you're saying that she came up from Mass?
I'm not saying anything else.
Why is it that you refuse to talk about her every time we bring her up?
Because You guys are just sitting here beating a bush. It's over and over. You guys asked me what happened the other day. I told you what happened.
You
And
wouldn't,
now
you
you guys,
wouldn't tell us the other day. You
you
said,
guys talked to me the other day. I explained to him what happened the other day. And now it was just a charade. Yep. No, don't worry about it. You're not under arrest. And I'll come up with some fucking bullshit.
We didn't arrest you.
No, the other day, no. But then you had a fucking SWAT team roll up on me and fucking detects follow me around for the last 3 days.
Yeah, people are coming out of the woodwork. That's what we're trying to tell you.
Very
We don't want you to be painted as a monster. We want you to maybe explain yourself a little bit.
This
Give us some
proves
insight
how
your story.
short-tempered he
We
is.
have nothing. We have just what we're hearing from people. $40,000 to drag a lot of people out, whether you believe you're your friends or not.
Well, I bet
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, I know it is.
So,
Absolutely it is.
That's what we're trying to get. Now's your time. Like you keep locking up on us. You don't want to tell us anything about her.
I got nothing else to say.
I think you care
about all my kids.
Right. But the one I care the most about is your daughter, Harmony. And we have people around the clock calling into us, giving us tips from all over the country because they care too, to try to find where she is. My only goal, which I told you the other day, is to make sure that she's safe. I don't want you to get tied into something if you didn't do anything wrong. My job is not to jam somebody up for something that they didn't do wrong. And if you can tell me that you didn't do anything wrong, then I want to believe you because, dude, I've met you now a few times. I helped you out when you were at the hospital when you were having a fucking meltdown. You told me about your kids. I sat there and I talked to you. Dude, I could have fucking tased you right there. And I didn't do that because I saw deep down inside that you were hurting and that I wanted to help you. Right now, all I'm trying to do is help your daughter. I want to bring her home and I can't do that without your help. Dude, I can't do that without your help. Help, hey, can you look at me? Help me, please. That's all I'm asking for. I can't sleep until I know that she's okay. And I know that you know where she is or what happened to her, but I can't do it without your help. And if you don't want to look like this fucking animal, because I don't think you are. Not that I don't think you are, I know you aren't. But
you're mistakenly wrong.
I can only do so much for you, man. I'm begging you to help me. Because as much as you're hurting inside, I'm also hurting inside. And I don't know how you can sleep at night because I'm sure it's eating the shit out of you. Am I wrong?
No, I'm seeing me at pies. I know I'm not fucking seeing my wife. I'm not seeing my kids. You guys are just playing games like this.
Dude, but I'm not trying.
I'm not trying to play games.
Like telling my wife and kids that I'm not allowed to see my wife and kids. Like,
but dude, that was a mistake from some court paperwork that hadn't been updated. So like I said, I apologize for that.
But it was updated. DCYF told them.
No. This was some like DV paperwork I'm talking about.
I'm talking about DCYF already told us multiple times that there was no contact order.
Maybe through DCYF.
It could have been through DCYF. So let's fucking forget about it. You've seen your kid, you've seen your wife and kids over the last how many days, right?
I haven't seen them in the last. I haven't seen my kids in the last 2 days, 3 days.
Okay. You're always going to be their father, Declan, Seamus, and then Sierra, right? Kiera. And then there's Harmony.
I got nothing else to say. That's it, guys.
Hey, can you make me a promise? Like, man to man, can you tell me that she's alive?
You're gonna play the same word games that you played with me the other
No,
day.
it's not word games.
I got nothing else.
We care, man. We want to know.
This isn't gonna go anywhere. Like this isn't gonna stop. So
No, it's not.
So either get on the bus now or get run over.
I got nothing else to say.
Why is it you have so much trouble talking about Harmony?
Guys, I got nothing else to say. I want a lawyer with me.
Oh, he lawyered up.
Well, we just copy this.
Oh, we're pissed off now.
It's a petition from DCYF. You can read it later sometime. I'll put it in your property. It's basically the same thing you got the other day. It's just a little more detailed that we handed you. It does say that you're ordered to help us locate Harmony Buttes unless you're not going to do that.
I'm just telling you I don't want a lawyer.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
It is 9:25.
Oh, they're pissed off. Woo! They are mad as hell. They don't have shit for this guy. But like I said, this isn't his first rodeo. He's been in prison before. So he knows how the game is played. So, yeah. Adam Montgomery is a piece of shit, in my opinion. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to manipulate. He's even manipulating the court in this in his daughter's case. I would not give him the option to show up. I would make his ass show up. They need to quit playing games with this guy. It's just sad that he has done this to his child. God bless him with a beautiful baby girl, and he just threw her away like trash. He's fixing to learn real fast what hurting his child felt like. I don't know if he ever will care, even because he's not looking at the death penalty. So he's used to being in jail. He's a jailbird. He's probably already got adjusted to jail. So, three hots and a cop, TV, they play games, they lift weights. I mean, come on. He's going to go on and live his life, even though it's in prison. He don't give two shits. He spent most of his life in prison anyway. So, I mean, you seen that when he walked in the courtroom yesterday with that big smug ass smile on his face like he did nothing wrong. So, y'all, this man gets me. He gets me. I'm sorry. He does. But, guys, I'm going to end this for today. I may come back tonight and actually cover a different case or just, talk about something completely different, have a simple chit chat like we always do every night. And just, for later on this evening. But I will be back in the morning, bright and early, to cover Harmony's case. You all, please stay tuned. Please join me. Like I said, we've been on this case since the beginning when they first found out she went missing. We were hot on this case. We were boots on the ground. And so we absolutely, positively want to cover this case. I've been waiting a long time to cover her case, this precious, precious baby. Y'all stay prayed up. Y'all stay safe out here on these YouTube streets because y'all know it's gangster out here. I love you guys. God bless. And I will see you guys later. Please pray that Harmony gets justice and all these little kids get justice in this case. I love you guys.